Oh, you got Soul Luna. Oh, you got this person. Oh, you got that person. Okay, maybe we should actually start focusing on the Portland market and start making that a worldwide or national level.
You want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you go together.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Man, he just dropped a gym.
Oh,
like,
God, I
what he
agree
does
with
is
that.
just a gym dropper.
He does that.
This isn't your typical podcast, my nigga. I don't hold my tongue for shit, and neither do the men around me. If you're looking for something a little bit more vanilla, I highly advise you to turn this motherfucker off, cause we about to talk that shit.
Everything XL.
Oh my mama, they nigga my black ass cheeks and everything, man. Hey, this isn't your typical podcast. I don't hold my tongue for shit, and neither do the men around me. If you're looking for something a little bit more vanilla, I highly advise you to what? Turn this motherfucker off, cause we gonna talk that shit, my nigga. Top of the morning, Jay.
Hey, what is good?
Mr. Get the motherfucking check, man. Top of the morning, 94 Prince.
Good.
Man, but before we get into who we got in here today, man, let's run through these motherfucking sponsors real quick. Kingdom Cuts. You know, you want this your beard, if you got one looking fresh, tap in with my peoples over at Kingdom Cuts, 7529 Northeast Gleason Street, Portland, Oregon. If you ever in the town, you need someone to come cater for you, tap in with my homegirl Chris at Fire Fusion Foods. That's FIYAH_fusion_foods on Instagram. And of course, wifey at Jen Got Cakes. And if you're looking for a pothead podcast, man, tap in with my homeboy Frowns at Park and Spark on Instagram. That's Park_and_Spark on Instagram. And then in straight Park and Spark on YouTube. If you ever in the town and you're looking for somewhere to go get some good eats at, man, but you also smoke, for my pothead folks, tap in at the Flight Lounge. We got 2 locations for you. That's 5427 Southeast 72nd Ave, Portland, Oregon, or 5944 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. Yeah, man. No, I'm Gucci. Hold on.
That cardio.
I've been fucking.
I hate this thing.
There's my cardio. Me and wifey been cool. No arguments, nigga. First thing in the morning, first thing before you go to bed, man. I love you, bitch. Oh, let me stop it, man.
Big facts. Big facts.
No, that's true, bro. If for motherfuckers that's in relationships, y'all gotta figure it out, man. Cause I figure like this, if we in this bed, right? If I give you this pipe before I leave this motherfucker, there should be no reason in the world for me and you to be arguing.
Right. 100%.
You cool. You got your day started off right.
100%.
And then for the motherfuckers that's in the relationship and y'all been arguing all day, you know how they say don't go to bed mad at each other.
Right.
Y'all fuck, there's no reason to be upset.
Yeah.
So you go.
No. But also, you know, a lot of people when they together, they together for the wrong reasons. So pipe is obviously one of the first. You should still be you know, enthralled with who you with. You feel me? It should still be a thing. A lot of people lose out. You know, they lose out 6 months, a year down the line. You know, you're not attracted to your baby no more. Like
My
that.
nigga,
You feel me?
right.
She got her hair up every day. It ain't, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be.
They was attracted to the night girl.
Right,
they
right,
wasn't attracted to who she was in the end.
You just committed to the
seen
wrong
you
one.
at the
It's
bar.
all right, you know?
You had the mimosa thing going on. You feel me? Now it's like, bitch, you overweight. You done gained about 60 pounds. My mama starting to recognize you. You got to go.
My mama started to recognize.
But hold on, man. I know y'all hear a new voice in this motherfucker for the people watching it, for the people listening. I've gotten good game from brother, man. You feel me? We ain't really had a chance to do any kind of music work like that. We ain't really shared too many stages, but I understand this man's work. I've been a big fan since day one. You feel me? When it comes to this everything official, I wouldn't call it movement, but more of like a branding. You feel me? I've gotten a good game from brother man about starting the business, making it an LLC. You feel me? So I've always respected his business mind, his business words of advice and shit like that. But enough about all that, man. Let him tell him about him. To the right of me, my partner, Mighty.
Oh, what's good? What's good?
What's going on?
Hey, man, and he over here talking about it ain't a movement. You lying ass motherfucker. It's a movement, man. You know, you got to put that stuff into the universe. I truly believe that you've been known it was gonna be like this. You know, when we spoke about it, one drunk night at the bar, bruh.
I was paying attention.
Yeah, no, you was, and I congratulations on your success, man. I love being able to pop through and just chop game. Never hoard knowledge, never hoard opportunity. It's never been a thing that I do. If you don't know kind of what I've been up to for the last couple months or whatever, just know you can go follow at ITZ Mighty right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rapper, community advocate, business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is, I do it. But I don't know. Rap, I'm really fucking good at rapping.
Before we get off into that, right? You feel me? What we got to talk about? What stirred all of that? What made you into who you are today? So before Mighty, you feel me? Before Mighty became Mighty,
you got that chain.
Where you originally from?
From Portland, Oregon, bro.
You're from Portland,
Oregon?
Oregon?
I'm born and raised here, bro. You know.
What section did you grow up in?
Oh man, Northeast for sure. Bounced around a lot. I was homeless for 15 years of my life. So as a kid, I was sleeping in the back of an '89 Buick with my mama. In basements, couches. We just bounced around, man.
So you all was homeless together?
Absolutely.
Man,
Rough situation. My brother and my sister ran away when I was 4 years old. To we're half brother and sister. So they ran away with their pops. Their pops was in their life, and he's down in Bend, Oregon. So they ran away and was with their pops, which was cool. But I stuck around with moms. My father was in prison for 16 years. 16 years off and on as well. So a lot of what I was doing, man, I was always the new kid in school. So been to every elementary. I think I went to like 11 elementary schools. So I was always bouncing around, man. But it was one of those things like I ended up just landing out in Southeast when the migration happened. My uncle had a house out Northeast that I've stayed at probably most of the time.
When you said migration, you talking about when the villa got shut down?
Right, yeah. Okay. Just when everybody, when all the white people started building a whole bunch
when he
of
said
shit.
Migration, and it's kind of fucked up, I was thinking about on some essay shit, you feel me? Because I know, bruh, half and half. So I'm thinking when you say migration, right. I immediately go back to California type living.
Facts.
So when you say migration, we're talking about
the Columbia Villa being shut down.
The Columbia Villa being shut down, and just Northeast being uprooted in general. I mean, if we want to be real, we all been around here for a while now, and we've seen
Southeast.
Right. We've seen, but we saw kind of what happened there. Northeast is not Northeast anymore.
See,
right?
actually, when I first moved to Portland, I moved and was living in Southeast. I was off of 60th and Flayville.
Okay.
So that's like Dish Mac, Felony Flats.
Yep.
Yam Yams was still open.
Okay, over in the north,
yeah.
And you would travel to the north to receive north shit.
No, my dad was like, boy, if you go past 82nd Max, so Madison, you went too far. I didn't go onto the Max until like almost a year of me living here.
Okay.
And I went to like Lloyd Center and felt like I was doing the most obscene shit and went back home. Like, my dad catch me over here, it's a wrap.
Right.
It wasn't until that next year, like, bro, you can go suck a dick. I'm out here, bro.
Right.
I'm downtown, I'm on the bricks, I'm all around this motherfucker.
What he's talking about, I get, because like even the Albina, Mississippi area,
right.
My big mama's house back in the 80s is a restaurant.
Right.
So to look at it,
the house was a restaurant?
The house right now is a restaurant.
Oh shit.
And the house next to it is where they're doing the bank took over it and they tried to sell it to somebody, so the people came in and
I know what you're talking about. They
came in and they're holding it hostage. But yeah, so growing up, I remember being told that's your grandma's house, and then going to Vancouver, everybody moved to Vancouver because of the whole migration situation too.
Yeah.
So coming back to Northeast, it's like, damn, this don't even look like home.
Alberta.
Yeah.
Alberta. Go down Alberta. You ain't We used to go get you used to go get your hair cut.
Japs.
You go, right? Like there was just things. You rode your bike down Alberta and not the naked bike ride. You was riding your bike as a kid. I'm saying you was riding your bike.
Can still see it. If you go to Alberta right now, there are like statues and like memorabilia of black shit that went on,
right.
But it's in front of a white restaurant.
Did you get a chance to see the episode with us and Water?
No.
So I labeled that Black Portland isn't black. And after talking to Water and 94 Prince, because man, shout out my guy, they really had a lot of
Understanding and knowledge.
knowledge is the word I was looking for, and info about how Vanport and Portland became what it is today. And when I found out that once Vanport flooded and where the black people originally was at before the flood, which was Montgomery Park,
Right.
then Portland started, after the flood, they migrated to Albina.
Right.
And that's where I wouldn't say original black Portland was
That's
at.
where the wealthiest were at. It was like on the east side of MLK was the wealthiest,
Right.
and then the west side of MLK was where the broke were. And
So when you said the west side of MLK, we're going towards 82nd, correct?
no, the west side of MLK is going
that's
towards
east.
St. John's.
Yeah.
Going east of MLK was where the people who worked in like the phone companies and stuff like that, they would live on the east side. The people who worked on the left, they were working for like Kaiser and them on the left, or they were like getting
True
public
homeowners.
assistance.
True homeowners.
Yeah.
We talking landowners. We talking like real
The
successful
projects,
black
if
people.
you look at it right now, the project areas of Black Portland are on the west side of MLK. The east side of MLK, they're all homeowners and have been homeowners or generational homeowners for a while.
Now, my uncle was a homeowner. Isn't now. He was pushed out of that area, and that's why I said
Because of all that?
Yeah, because when he was pushed out, the prices of the homes around were going up so high, fam. They were just. You know what it is. That's just how it works. But with him, he was a hard worker. He had been here. He's from North Carolina, born and raised in North Carolina, but he had been here for 20 plus years. He had a mixed family. Married a Indian woman, had kids, and so the household was just. So it was just colorful. You feel me? And I never even realized that we were different colors. I was 4 years old walking through the store, and I would ask him like. I was taught not to stare at people,
Right.
And not to point. You feel me? That's rude.
Right.
And I used to.
Grandma used to get on my ass.
Man, I asked him. I said, "Why are they staring at us?" I'll never forget. And he looked. He was just like, "Bro, because they don't know no better. Because they don't know no better." And I'll never forget that.
That was always the.
That was the line. Just know better.
I didn't know I was black and Mexican until I went to middle school. I knew that I was Mexican. Like as far as what the heritage was, but I didn't know that was what I was supposed to identify as.
Right.
Till I got to middle school.
Man.
Because I kept asking too the same thing. Why are they
So
looking at
what
me
do
funny?
you identify as?
I identify as a black and Hispanic dude, but I'm saying in the past, like elementary school, growing up, just like how you said, I didn't know that was something. Like
Right.
I just knew my dad was, David, and my mom was Misty Renee. You feel me? So it was one of those two little separate things. I didn't know it was like I got a black mom and I got a Mexican dad. I didn't know that.
Right.
Damn.
It wasn't until I got to middle school they were like, "Hey, you got to pick a side." Nigga, I could barely speak Spanish. What you mean?
Right. My side is picked.
So Mighty, you being from Portland, but where does your family's bloodline come from?
Yeah, so I'm Italian and Mexican. Shout out, Mexican. You know what I mean? The biggest, I don't know much Spanish either, but it was funny is I always migrated, again, I'll use the word again, to my just Mexican folks. Growing up, I had so many Mexican homies, man.
Yeah.
I just felt so comfortable in that. My father and my mother were obviously estranged and not doing very well after I was born. So my father was adopted. He has a twin brother. They found each other after he got out of prison. They were adopted. I never knew that. I knew my grandparents. I thought that was grandma and grandpa. Right. He's a first generation Italian. So you see what I'm saying? He doesn't want to find his family. He's angry that nobody looked out for him, right? So he's got this pride issue going on. His twin brother, they find each other. His twin brother is very interested in finding out who the family is.
They both were adopted.
Right. Because a lead singer. So this is where the music came from. A lead singer of a traveling band is who basically they are the kid of that
Traveling
person.
band?
So the lead singer has a one-night stand with the mom. the dad at home is like, we ain't keeping these two. You got twins? We ain't keeping them. Put them in adoption.
Wait a minute.
Swear to God.
Wait a minute.
Hey, bro, that intro was
So
different.
your real pops was a Rolling Stone, pretty much. He was a musician.
No, his pops.
His pops was.
His pops was. Do you see what I'm saying? My father is one of the twins from that one night stand.
Oh,
Do you see what I'm saying?
Now, one night
You see what I'm
stand
saying?
was a Rolling
So
Stone.
they were wiped off the face of this
So your
planet.
real grandfather.
Right.
Okay.
So this is like a weird situation, bro. My dad don't want to find out. So I never knew, bro. I'm just chilling.
So your
out.
uncle went to go find out.
Right.
Bet.
He goes and he's
Who you guys didn't know?
what's that?
You didn't know your uncle, right?
I didn't know my uncle either, bro. Like
Okay, that's what I thought.
it was a struggle.
He found your father and was like, "Hey,
Right.
bro, I found our history."
We gotta put
So
these-
you really got music in your blood.
Right.
Man.
We got to put this. And my uncle actually became a roadie for some really big bands. Would go on tour, would run the tour merch.
So he followed his father's footsteps and didn't even know it.
Right. It's so crazy that they didn't know, but it was just naturally a part of them. And so, man, it was weird finding out. Meeting my family. My uncle, rest in peace now. He's not with us anymore. He had heart surgery and didn't survive it. So I actually met my family, their family, the other half of my family at the hospital. So I have an Uncle Juan. I have an Aunt Rosa. Like, they're all from Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's like this mixture happening.
Your dad's the Mexican side.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then my mom, Italian.
Hey,
You see what I'm saying?
Quick
So like,
question. I'm not even trying to be stereotypical.
yeah.
Was your grandfather a mariachi band?
Probably. But he could sing. That's
I thought that, but I let it go.
Right.
I let it go.
Big ass guitar. But that's the thing, bro, is we really got to look at like, I just didn't know any
Right.
better. I didn't know.
Right.
A lot of people be like, man, wow, you was always. I either had black homies or Mexican homies.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them fighting. I remember them being beef, and I was always in the
yeah.
middle. I was always very neutral.
Me too.
And the difficulty was that I identified with because my godfather who lived in Northeast, I call him my uncle as well, but he's my godfather. Right. He was there since I was a kid, bro. He's black. It's just his name is Shockley, Armand Shockley.
That's
like,
a nigga name.
Right, bro. Like, it's just, he from North Carolina, bro. Like, it's not, ain't no, and I just gravitated towards that. That's where I heard my first hip hop. That's where I heard my first soul music. And my dad used to get mad because he'd be like, no, it's all about rock and roll. And that's what you need to be listening to that.
That was my mother. My mother was rock and roll and gospel music. And my dad, the Mexican, was hip hop.
Right.
He was a hip hop and Mexican music.
It's a thing, man, to have this eclectic kind of palette as a child. I just didn't really know any different, man. I just hugged the culture that I love so much. That was more natural. That's more real and just very.
Plus, you were living in it.
Yeah, I just hated how fake certain things felt when you'd go when I moved out this way as a kid, and I'd go to school and I'd be like, man, everybody's fake out here, and when you're in Northeast and when you're in certain areas of Portland, there's this realness that you get.
Did you feel like, because you said they were fake, did you feel like when you moved to the Southeast and you saw the cultural difference, you realized that they're not up on game and what's really going on?
100% late to the party.
And we're comparing Southeast to Northeast, correct?
at that time, yes.
What year is this? Or what time is this?
I mean, man, I'm fifth, sixth grade, so I'm 33. So I mean, you looking at it. I mean, that's right around that time.
I came to Southeast 06, and that's when niggas was actually living there.
Right.
And they had probably been there for like at least 5-6 years.
Right.
So it was in 2003 is when the Columbia got shut down. So they were already there for like 3 years.
So that was the year, because I came out here the end of my
17 years
the end of my seventh grade year, so 2002.
Yeah.
So
So you were
2003.
here for a year before the villa got shut down.
But I wasn't moving around yet. I was
No,
still.
you were still by yourself.
Yeah, I was at the house.
You wasn't even put up on game and the thing is too, I think they said we're only black people are only 8% of Portland, and so a lot of these motherfuckers who really
How?
Yeah, you feel me?
Bro, being from Salinas, coming here, there's niggas here.
But here's
what
the
do you
thing,
mean?
Man.
Portland's so small, and the thing is too, we all
hate
move.
that.
And we move in a collective.
Right.
And you got to realize half these motherfuckers up here are related, like myself. I'm related to like 150 people up
feel
here.
that Portland is small?
The way we move.
No.
No, not the city. Portland is so small as far as the way we move as a people. You feel me? If you're
What they're hip to?
No, I'm saying more as, for instance, the hip hop shit, right, that we got going on, right? We know that there's a hip hop community. Now every time that I see Mighty at a hip hop community. I don't really see bro outside the hip hop community.
That doesn't mean Portland is small. That just means motherfuckers don't come out their house.
But the 8% of black people, they move in a certain community where it's like every nigga going to Mid-K or Living Color. You're going to see that. They're not going outside of that. They're going to those.
But that doesn't mean that Portland is small.
I'm not saying the city's small. I'm saying the way people interact, the community that they grow, the blacks stay with a certain circle, or they stay with their certain boundaries of what they're going to do. And because of that, if you move through those boundaries, you're going to only see what's in your peripheral.
I mean, that's anywhere you go.
Yeah, I think though too. I see what he's saying. It's all. I think that's all stemmed from racial undertones, though.
Yeah.
We talking about a really young ideology of progressive-ness. We're actually very not progressive here.
We're not.
We love to believe that. We're not. We love to believe that though. We love to be the first to be doing this and the first to be weird. No, you're
Portland
actually
is last.
You're very last.
Way behind.
But if you ask certain communities that move together, that are smaller, that kind of operate in it, they feel like they are, recycling and, this corny stuff.
The greenest city.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that they're like, oh no, we're totally progressive. Our thought processes
Don't you ever
are totally
fucking say it like that again.
it's a real thing. It's a real.
We like to put titles on it to sound like we accomplished shit.
Right, but we're also very,
weird.
very lazy. We're very lazy and late to the party. So a good example is just look at how we drive out here. We drive extremely slow. We don't use the lanes. There's entitlement in traffic.
Oh yeah.
People stay in the fast lane. Right.
Fast lane is whatever lanes go in the fastest.
Right, and they stay there because they don't realize the rule of that lane is to get out and let someone pass. There's a passing lane. They think they're entitled to dictate the speed of the lane. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know
hate that shit.
If this is making any sense, but the reality is that's a very telling perspective for what we're speaking to. Right. You just think it's just your one vision, your one track road to what is progressive. No, man, we're actually extremely late.
But when you have 20 people that think like that,
yeah,
that's what makes it
worse. So I get what he's saying about the small, but how it's because of how you move. Because
it's how you move.
Because those racial undertones, no one wants to feel uncomfortable. Think about it.
You see the black people because whatever. Not to say you're a stereotype, but whatever you're moving through the boundaries in order to get what you need to accomplish for that day, you are probably intermixing yourself with only what the black people probably would be doing in that Portland. You're not coming up, like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I didn't know about certain shit till I got, like I told you before, till I got money. Once I got money, I was like, y'all niggas don't know what the fuck we talking about. I need to go find somebody who does know what the fuck I'm talking about. And when I went to go find them, I was like, y'all do this? You feel me? So it was like, okay, new friends. You feel me?
New friend alert. New friend alert.
Notification bell. Subscribe.
Learning new demographics right here. But no, it's because, like I said, you're just looking, you're going through what you need to go through. You feel me?
I get it.
And on top of that, too, you got to realize a lot of this shit that we're doing, like you say, Kingdom Cuts. It's a black-owned area. You feel me? So it's like the areas that you're supporting are also in the community.
Like barbershop, I wouldn't call it a black area of town, though.
No, it was not a black area of town, but it's a black barbershop, and we as black people and people of color, we support the black movement here so tough that we push ourselves to
I drive all the way from nigga I-5 side of Vancouver to come to the 205 side in Portland.
I remember I was going to Walton Jackson, Vancouver, and then going all the way over here. I went to Kingdom Cuts as a kid too, all the way over here. Then I went to Geneva's when I got the braids. But it was also due to the fact that niggas were only telling me that. You feel me? Right. I didn't know there was other spots. So I was asking within my community what was going on.
Well, and we talking about haircuts. Y'all ain't going to Supercuts.
Yeah, we're not
for
going
a
to
reason. Because motherfuckers ain't doing it's just not quality.
I don't know.
Right? Right? That's what I'm saying. It's quality. We talking about quality.
I ain't going dub. It's not even the quality. I just walked in and didn't see nobody of color that was like, I trust you. Right. It's the same thing with the base chicken.
But I guarantee you got a haircut, you still wouldn't trust them. You know, it would have just been more disappointment as you went further in the engagement.
Bro, it would have had to been a white boy with some season that was like, hey, I know this is Supercuts, but I got you.
Let me fade
that
you
right there would have. All right, bro. I can do a chance.
Remember the white boy from Barbershop?
Yeah.
he would have had to come out here.
John B.
I need to see I need a John B in this motherfucker before I come
That's what
in.
I'm saying. If he would, depending on how he would approach me, would have let me know what kind of seasoning you hold. You feel me?
So, but you were seasoned in for a while though.
Dude, that's the key to what we're speaking about in general. I think when we talk about migration or when we talk about moving around and moving as a unit, it's huge to say that you don't have to stick to one box.
Right.
You're in two boxes right now,
Right.
and you're supporting. It's just be true and honest to who you are. You know, knowing who you are is very important. You didn't know you was Mexican until way later in life. Same with me. And so the appreciation for the culture was always there. And
Always
I think
there.
that the undertones we're speaking to are very that was the problem. It's uncomfortable. There's not respect. So
When did you start getting comfortable?
probably around 15, 16, really understanding that like I really know how to work this pen. I really know how to get a lot of my struggles out. Rap, I could listen. Rap was taking me away from the world. Sleeping in the back of a car or being a burden to somebody in their house all the time. Learning how to walk in the kitchen on your tippy toes and getting somebody's kitchen so smooth because it ain't your house. Always being in the way. Just kind of like that weird element. Allowed me to look at a pen and pad as something that was very, very soothing and really helped me understand where I was at in life. So around 15 or 16, you see the trajectory. I signed my first deal. I did a TriMet song. If y'all go back into the history, I did a thing called Chillaxin' on the Max when I was 12 years old. And we dropped the song for them. They paid us $10,000.
Jesus.
I was under a contract with Chillaxin with the Max. They did a PSA. We were in like the Rose Festival. I was in a group at the time called Dynamics. Shout out to Rez. So it was a duo, and they put us on a commercial. It's this funny thing. You watch it, you like, oh, this is a PSA for sure.
Right.
But we were rapping about safety on the Max. But I'm 14, I think, at the time when it dropped. Bro, we had all these CDs we were signing at the Rose Festival. I signed Swiggle Mandela's autograph. He came to my booth, and I was 14 years old. I signed his autograph because we performing with OG1 at the Rose Festival.
Right.
I'm 14, bro.
So people don't know this, but
That's why I found my groove.
Yeah,
to answer your question, I
was
know it's
right.
long with it, but that's where I found my groove.
you've been in the product placement rap game then for a long time.
That's a great segue. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Because I remember my first time meeting you. It was right when you started getting the Microsoft deal.
Yeah.
And then after I saw the Microsoft deal, I saw the Oregon Ducks anthem, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this nigga doing?" Like,
So real quick,
right on,
before because we
That's
know
some name dropping, and they need to sponsor this. Look, everybody, all of the people that were just mentioned, put some bread up.
my
Quit
God.
playing.
We kind of know your history, but for the people watching and for the people listening, let's name off some of your roses. So we got the TriMet deal.
Chillaxin' on the Max, 14 years old. Yeah.
What happened after that?
Dropped the album and won the SEI talent show,
out to SEI.
which was huge. It sounds funny to say a talent show, but that's huge. It's a great feat. So that, and then
a lot of people don't even know the SCI situation. So
dropped the first two album with the group. Then we broke up, and then I went solo. Quit when I was 20. Went solo, dropped an album. And then went to BET's 106 in Park a year after I went solo.
man.
No
Yikes.
knock. But
Yikes.
I'm just saying it sped up.
I
real
heard
fast.
the emphasis on solo.
year.
The year.
365 days into doing that, we were on live TV. Won on 106 in Park. Set a record. 500,000 votes in a commercial break.
And that's
Had
when I
never been
got
done.
tuned to
Hosted by
Mighty.
Tyga. So
Hosted by Tyga?
That episode was hosted by Tyga. Tyga's manager. That's actually how we met. After that, toured on my own dollar off the winnings of that show. Toured the entire country. Been in 57 cities in this country. 57. That's no joke. No fad, no pay to play, no nothing. That's off my own dollar, leaping and understanding what it means to put up on yourself, put money on your own head. Then after that, went back. Released my own album, multiple music videos, went back to the TV show because I was an all-star, went back later that summer, lost by 2%, still kind of won somehow. I was hosting BET.com for 6 months, went on tour again, then went back, dropped another album, and did like multiple mixtapes. And then that's when my uncle that we spoke about passed away. And then I quit for a couple years, came back, dropped Victory, 50,000 views, went viral at 4 or 5 times, 300, 400, 500,000 views on a couple different remixes all the way up. Drake, Portland, everybody copied the Portland remix. Everybody, like, and then now just albums and songs and Flex
like a
and
whole
Microsoft.
dozen of
and,
roses
bro, I
to
could
me.
just,
Yeah,
I could just.
I said, let's not forget about when we say roses too. Let's not also forget about your community activism that you've been doing, because
100%.
that shit to me was really what put me on Game to You.
Love it,
and
love
I
it.
was like, he giving how many fucking shoes away to niggas, to
Right.
these kids? Like, come on, bro. What?
Well, and let's be real.
I thought it was on your dollar too.
Right. Well, no, it all is,
Yeah.
time and money. The first year I actually gave away 150 pairs of shoes and I paid for every single one of them.
Man.
So that's putting money up. You put money on your own head. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But you're right. The community thing, a lot of people don't know. While I'm on 106 in Park, I'm in college going for my bachelor's degree, and I work at Powell Youth Center at the time. I
is
went,
right. Yeah.
right? So community was always parallel.
Yeah, because that's how
Community was always parallel.
I knew of you from Powell, but I didn't really know of you from Powell. So
Right.
I knew more of Lance from Powell because he was
Right.
the team leader.
My introduction to Mighty was, okay, I'm ready to start doing music. I'm trying to meet people. I had already been out here for a couple years, but it was one of those things where, like, okay, so my first project was just Thuggin' and Mac Out. I put that out in 2014 with Delgado.
Yeah.
Prior to that, before me meeting Delgado, it was Delgado, it was you, it was Hijinks, it was Can Jones, Diamond, and I want to say one other person.
And we was at the
Gossip.
good call. Oh, Gossip. Yeah,
It was always the Gossip. And
Poppin'.
when I was clubbing at the Gossip, and then you came along, it was right at the height of BET.
Yeah, we
So
was
it
promoing
like,
the show. Yep.
I'm like, bro, who is this little ass nigga with the long ass hair? You feel me? But I've only seen
Who
bits
got
and
the
pieces of
BIT?
you.
Who got the BIT?
Yeah, I got the BI,
Yeah, the
you-
BET
BET
shit. Yeah.
fucking Mighty, nigga. So it was like, bro, all right, man, I see what he got going
They
on.
got the big ass diesel watch on him.
It was the mix, and then it was the transition from MySpace to Facebook.
Yeah.
So it was like I seen everything social media of you, and I only seen you once in person. Once I started getting heavy into the Portland rap scene, and people knew who I was, then that's when I started to see you more.
Right,
Because
right.
it was like, now I feel like I'm in places that I need to be based on the people that I seen
Right.
that were in the places that I'm trying to get to. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'll say it on air. I'm a big ass hater right now. Because when it comes to 106 in Park as a kid,
Right.
that was my goal, nigga.
right,
to
right.
get to 106 in Park, to get interviewed by Free and AJ. Not Ray J,
No.
but Free and AJ.
Oh, it was
not
it was TRL. It was the biggest TV show in the world.
But now
It
it's
was the-
gone. So it's like, as a kid, it was one of those things where like, okay, that was my goal to work to.
Right.
What's next?
Right.
As a person who made it through all these accomplishments, what would you say as far as, you ain't got to give the whole game,
Yeah.
but what would you say as far as the advice for like a new person? Like me, I'm not care. I'm almost 30. I'm good.
Right.
But like,
100%.
But
your knees gonna go.
Yeah,
Your knees
right. I
gonna
can't
go.
jump on stage the way I used to. I'm good with the
30?
DJ
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
But for the young new generation, like we got like 16-year-old rappers that are coming up and they're talking about they trying to get in the rap game and stuff like that. Right now, they believe viral and doing the gang shit is one of the ways that they can get the quickest buck for the record labels to look at them. You feel me?
Right.
What would you say as far as advice? Because you've been through all these accomplishments that do us, being the generation that we are, we're like, nigga, BET? Bruh.
Yeah, right.
You know, and like shit like that. So what would you give the advice to for the young people that are coming up in this game?
Yeah, no. This is always one of my favorite questions. Not saying it's unoriginal, but what I like is it's because commonality for me is always going to be community. I'm a village baby. That's what my grandma always says. You're a village baby. I was just raised by whoever, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big part of who I am.
It takes a
And
community to raise a kid.
Right. So this type of answer is gonna give somebody something. They're gonna be able to harness whatever from an answer like this. And so I would just say staying true to who you are is super duper important, but always bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself. Pay yourself. Trust your talent. Hone your craft. Right? Like there's these things. Rap ain't my favorite music, but I I'm really good at it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there's this
I like
interesting
rock music, so yeah.
man, there's this interesting ebb and flow that you gotta respect the art form by mastering your craft, whatever that may be, but also be professional. I hate this whole idea that you could just do whatever you want and they gonna come to you.
Right.
That's not how it works. I landed a lot of these opportunities because I showed up early, I stayed late, I practiced, I rehearsed, I did my job, I did my part. So you have to be professional. I don't care what you do in your personal life, but man, be professional. Show up on time, bruh. You know, be prepared. Quit telling the DJ to go to the next song. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Just and your energy and everything that you do naturally will shine through.
Right.
I think that's always going to shine through. You don't have to be unprofessional and that. I think just hold on to honing your craft and being professional.
I feel like you get put, and I've heard that before. Because to me, I got put in a situation that I was just by being very polite and professional. As much as the music will depict something else, or as much as the movement or the people around me depict something else, I got put on to California promoters and California labels or Bay Area specifically labels, because of the fact that I was in tune to what they were saying. I shut the fuck up when needed, and I did what I was asked. And because of that, now I got what I got. But
because it's about relationships.
Yeah,
because it's about relationships. You're talking about building relationships. That professionalism and following through is a big part of a relationship, right? Because this is business, not personal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's huge, man.
And I feel like I'm so glad you said that. Like, when it comes to, like, I don't want to say people in the town, but people that you can reach out and touch, you feel me? You tell a motherfucker no, they take it personal.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Okay, hypothetically speaking, I'm gonna say I know all of your music, and I hate to even put you in a box, but just for the sake of conversation, we're gonna put you in a box.
Let's do it.
My first interpretation of Mighty was I don't want to use bubblegum.
Yep.
I like to use Disney.
Okay.
Because when you say like a Disney rapper, you kind of paint this picture of high class but more commercial.
Right.
So there wasn't the thugness or the street
right
in Mighty's rap. But there has been one or two songs where I heard, oh, my nigga talking that shit. You feel me?
It's funny that you say that. Lance at one of Sam's when we was roasting Sam.
Oh yeah, I was there.
It was funny.
That was funny.
Lance was like,
"Hey,
everybody think Mighty this, that, and this," but
yep.
I watched him whoop ass outside of Lloyd Center. Like I don't.
Oh no.
No, but what I'm saying though is commercial is totally my lane.
Yeah,
that's totally. Look at me, bro.
Your lane.
It's my lane.
I put you
true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Don't be no fake motherfucker.
Yeah.
You feel me? I want to be commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It makes sense to do it, and in that aspect too. I actually push you in a different lane of Portland rappers. Like when I think of you, I ain't even keep it. I ain't gonna lie. Like there's a show that's coming up. I mentioned you for the show. And I think bro just declined because of the cost.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
But Zito was in it.
I
recommended Zito. I recommended Delgado. I recommended Mike Bars. Right?
Yep.
Motherfuckers that rap.
So, well, not that rap, but more of a commercial base.
Yeah.
That we wouldn't have to worry about
The extra bullshit.
the bullshit, because the headliner is known for the bullshit. But the understudies are all known for, hey, we gonna get a ticket out of this. We don't have to worry about
solid
shit.
show.
We not gonna have no fights afterwards.
Right.
You feel me? So when I put you in the category of the Josh Zitos and the Delgados and the fucking Mike Bars, because I feel like you're commercially famous and you're well known. And honestly, I put you guys in the aspect of Portland supports most. As far as like with the Bay Area shit, like the Bay Area shit, everybody supports everybody to a movement that they push everybody. Right. I feel like in Portland, you top 5 or and like Swiggle, I count Swiggle included with that one, but like you top 5 are the ones that I really see Portland saying, if we had to present Portland rappers, that's the ones we're going for right now.
I think hip hop is always going to be about You know, the underdog. You know what I'm saying? The one that's not in that top 5. I think rap will always be about that.
Well, you know, we definitely support the underdog. But if we were, I'm saying as far as if we had to just give
Who
the
would be
5,
the underdog?
the underdog for Portland.
Me personally,
There's a
I say Dre Steves.
underdog would be Drake. There's another one too. Cuz has a song with Bino Reddix. He from damn, where he from? He from
There's some hard.
man, bro. There's niggas that we know that are just like, nigga, what the fuck?
Before I forget my point, the reason why I had said all that was because motherfuckers being in their feelings.
Yeah.
If you are this kind of person, or not this kind of person, but this kind of a rapper or artist, and you know that that's the lane that works for you,
Right.
Okay, let's take a person like me. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I try so fucking hard because it's one of those things where like I look at myself more as an artist than a rapper. You feel me?
Yep.
And even though what gets most people's attention with me is the more gangster shit.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta hear this other shit. You feel me?
Right.
So with that being said, like, how do you protect your image without hurting a nigga's feelings?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think it's more about keeping it honest. I don't know, man. What like it's not personal. We just spoke about that. It's not personal. It's business.
But being honest can hurt a motherfucker feelings.
Man, it can, and that's fine. I'll just take hurting feelings. I'll just take that. You feel me? Like, you wouldn't be tapping in. We wouldn't be tapping in if you didn't respect the grind.
You're right.
So you also have to respect the differences that we have in that regard. I wouldn't take it personal. Never have. If you introduced me to a bag, perfect example, Zito hit me the other day. And was like, yo, I seen you plugging in on Spotify. It's heavy. How you doing this? I gave him the bag right off rip. He done introduced me to multiple bags. Right. Most people would take that personal that, oh, you just tapping in to get a bag? Yeah. Some people would be like, oh man, you can't say what's good, you can't check in, you can't no. I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. You done thrown bags my way.
With you for business.
Right. But I didn't sit back like and not give him. That don't hurt me no way. It don't hurt me no way. Right. So it's kind of an example of what you're saying, but to me, I don't look for Zito to hit me like, yo, what's good, bro? What you doing tomorrow? You trying to come by the barbecue?
We all know the game, but just because I apply it and you could have applied it is why I got the results and you don't.
Right. It's
you know what to do.
I'm not insecure in my hustle, so it's never it'll never be about if they're offended really, because I just don't operate that way. I don't operate on feelings.
In my opinion, I feel like, well, before I even say that, the artist that I was talking about was Teaspoon.
Oh, great artist. Oh my God, yeah.
Good artist.
I feel like he's underrated.
I feel like he switched his style up too much to the left to. Now it doesn't make sense.
Now it's working for him because he got Icewear. He got Icewear on there, and he got Red X on there. He got a couple features that's coming out the bag.
Man,
that's working for his new style.
That boy can rap his ass off.
Man, but what I was gonna say to that was, I don't get offended if somebody asks me how to do shit. I feel like it's supposed to be told at that point. I feel like it's especially how we living in Portland and how we don't have the labels really looking at Portland the way other cities get the look. I feel like I should open my mouth as soon as I hear something and say, nigga, hey, this how you do it. Hey, bro, I don't know if y'all need to know this, but hey, get your sound exchange up, get your song trust up, get your BMI up. Like, hey, bro, y'all did ads yet? Like, talk about it. Like, rich your shit out, you know?
Insecurity is a huge part of the genre. Ego and pride is a huge part of hip-hop. It's in the roots of hip-hop. And so that's why a lot of smaller markets never flourish, because it's detrimental to the genre as well.
What about, okay, this is my issue. I agree with y'all. And I don't want to say certain individuals, but I am going to say certain people. If you hit me, yeah, I'm going to give it to you. But if it's one of them motherfuckers that's just like, bro, we ain't never even had a conversation and you just hopping in my inbox like, hey, bro, how you do this? How you do that? How you do this? Who are you?
Right.
Well,
that's how I be looking at certain shit.
I be looking at it as the quicker that it doesn't have to be me, but the quickest way of getting more Portland artists known on a national level is the better way. If people start looking at us and saying, oh, Mighty's doing this shit, Zito's doing this shit, Delgado's doing this shit, Mac's doing this shit, maybe we got to look at Portland now. Mm-hmm. And they come in and start looking at Portland, then they're gonna find Swiggle, they're gonna find 94 Prince, they're gonna find
each one.
Yeah, you feel me? They're gonna start finding all these other. Well, who else is in your city that can rap good, or who else is in your city that does musical shit? Right. Oh, you got Soul Luna. Oh, you got this person. Oh, you got that. Okay, maybe we should actually start focusing on the Portland market and start making that a worldwide or national level.
You want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you go together.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Man, he just dropped a gym.
Oh,
Like,
God, I
what he
agree
does
with
is
that.
just a gym
He
drop.
does that.
Shut the fuck up, Jay. Shut the fuck up. You made every syllable.
He said, "You want to go fast? Go alone."
Motherfucking to shine light on that situation. That's why I've been pushing this whole move tough. Not necessarily specifically Atlanta, and I'm thinking, oh, Atlanta's the best place to be, and yada yada yada. It was one of those. Okay, L.A., Atlanta, New York. I'm from California.
Biggest
you feel
hip-hop
me?
markets.
So I can move back and forth all up and through California if I really wanted to. Plus, nigga, California's expensive as shit. Hell, no, I'm not moving back to that motherfucker.
Facts.
New York.
Facts.
I'm a nigga that like to drive, so
I don't like rats.
can't. New York ain't gonna vibe like that. But
No subway.
If I go
Can't
to
take the subway.
if I move to Atlanta, New York's not that far away. I'm in and out that motherfucker. And being in Atlanta, when a motherfucker go on tour, right? And this is what helped me notice this. It was a 2 Chainz tour. I looked at this nigga's dates, right? He had like, bro, I think an A and a B side on that motherfucker. He was hitting hella cities. All East Coast, all South. When it came to the West Coast, he had Arizona, LA, Seattle.
He came to Portland.
No, not on this tour specifically that I was looking at.
I was like, because that nigga came to Portland in a wheelchair. So
Yeah, with his foot up. Yep.
It was before or after that, because I know he was. That's when he dropped that pink.
the pink trap.
Pretty girls like trap music or some shit.
He made that a museum.
Yeah, it wasn't that tour. It was a whole different tour. Or was it Moneybag Yo? It was a college tour, some weird shit that was going on. But my point is, like, when it comes to the West Coast, like, they stop in LA, they stop in Oakland, you feel me? They'll come to Portland depending on who the artist is, but majority of the time they will skip over Portland and go to motherfucking
The market's
Seattle.
better.
Market's better, and they know people will drive from Portland to Seattle to see them.
So why stop?
Because it's only a 2-hour difference.
Right. So, and then the thing is, too, is we don't have any. We either have all of our venues. There's these huge gaps in what type of venues we have.
Mm-hmm.
We have obviously the Moda Center, and now they're redoing the Coliseum or whatever. It's going to be nice, but there's certain levels.
Ain't they got the iHeart one coming up too at the Moda Center?
Right. So there's multiple levels that are being missed out on. The mid and subset are real messed up. If you don't go to the Roseland, you can't lock in a date with the Roseland.
Right.
Where are you going?
You gonna
That's
try to go to
25?
the ballroom. You're
Right.
gonna try to go to the ballroom.
And ballroom, they making you
But they heavy.
yeah, and they're but
That's the
McMinimans,
one by the 405?
yeah.
Yeah.
McMinimans is making you jump through hoops, so a lot of rap doesn't go into McMinimans.
Oh, nigga,
was-
the Hawthorne
I was
Theater, they
surprised
charge
they had
you
blue-
for everything.
Right.
I tried to put on a show there. They wanted half the ticket sales. They wanted
Bro.
this down as a deposit. They wanted every $2
That's why I love the
for
Paris.
the ticket.
I love
Plus,
Paris.
they wanted a 50 cents for every person that showed up. So hold on, you bitch ass nigga. You just charged me $1.50 for the same thing. Nigga,
Bro.
what?
What
fee.
but you're talking about the exact problems that they're dealing with at higher levels. Just imagine all of these hoops that you're
$1,000,000
jumping
artist
through.
is like, I'm not gonna give y'all
Yeah,
my money.
just drive to the Tacoma Dome. Motherfucker, I'll meet you there.
But
Which
You
we
know
do,
what I'm
'cause
saying?
it's like I said, Oregon, and the thing is too, you got to look at it. California's so fucking long, man. It's like an 8.5-hour drive from Oakland to LA. Nigga, Portland, Seattle is if you really busting, nigga, I could get there in 1:45 minutes.
don't play with me.
You're not really
110,
needing this
110,
stop.
110.
As long as I got about 3-4 blunts rolled, oh, we there.
As long as the Waze tells me the cops are coming, I'm gonna slow down for the Waze
Yeah.
call.
Bro, what you know about that?
Shout out Waze. Y'all need to sponsor. Shout out Waze.
Police 2 miles ahead.
The little cop emoji.
Nigga, you got that T-Pain auto-tune going on too. Hey, cops. But nah, I'm saying the market here in Portland is so small, and the market is bigger in Seattle because Seattle it's been known better, has bigger venues. Same thing that you were saying, and because we're so short in distance to them, there's no point in them really coming to Portland like that.
High quality venues too.
Yeah.
Venues that have executed
Hard
high
rock.
level shows. You know what I mean? For decades. You know,
But
there's only a
that
few
also
here that have done that.
That also
Roseland,
fucks up shit
Hawthorne,
for
and
us
Crystal
though as
Ballroom.
artists. You feel me? Because this is another thing I don't like. okay, right now they got the Moneybag show. Moneybag Yo, he's coming out here on October 25th.
I wish I was a part
It's
of that.
him, Fredo Bang as a head as an opener. You feel me? And like 4 other motherfuckers. How do us as artists from the town get on those shows?
You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. I remember when I was doing the Pilo situation. Pilo did not want any artist on there besides his own people, because he was trying to put his people on. So you don't. In those aspects, you don't, unless you are me, the booker, who set your own shit up. So if that's the case, then you buy the artist to come do the show. Then you put your people on, or the city.
Let's
on.
be for real.
But if you're buying a tour, you're not buying slots.
Not too many niggas got that kind of pull.
There's a lot of niggas in Portland that got a bag. If y'all know how much these niggas cost, last year and a half ago, Moneybag was 10. It wasn't until the motherfucking festivals
Right.
that the nigga became 50.
Right.
Last year or 2 years ago, Sada was cheap. That nigga just got put on the festivals. Now he telling a different price. So it's really the festivals too. So, but also what goes into Portland is, as much as we have a venue problem or we have a smaller market, we also don't have a lot of shit here in the city. You feel me? And that's one thing that you need to have, is a lot of shit going on in the city that makes it more marketable to be here. If you go look at Atlanta, New York, Seattle, Oakland, Miami, and the list goes on, you'll see that not just in the music aspect of shit, but outside of the music aspect, there is a lot of things going on that would benefit an artist to show up here, if that makes sense.
It does, but it's like,
I just see bags across the entire United States. So if I'm looking to get a bag in the Northwest,
Right.
and I know that you're going to travel upstate to go, and I'm going to see double the amount of people, and they're going to pay me 60,
Right.
and I'm going to waste my time with 25 up
Right.
front, 25 back in,
Right.
and I'm not guaranteed that they selling slots for an hour and a half before I'm going,
Right.
I mean, before I go up, before my crew go up. So it's just the quality control here is extremely poor. So QC on an event like that is imperative, right? They're going to go to the Tacoma Dome and receive extremely high quality and get a bigger bag.
Yeah.
Guaranteed bag.
Yeah.
Bag over CLOUT. Go stream that on YouTube right now.
this guy.
Plug.
Yeah, plug. The reality is, it saves you time and energy. It just makes sense.
Okay,
I'm
answer this for
from
me
here,
then.
and I probably would do the same thing.
I would too.
How many artists have you seen do the YG move?
What do you mean by the YG move?
This, since I've been in Portland, and especially doing this music shit, YG is the only nigga that I've seen come
love
to
him some
Portland and do a show 3 days in a row and sell out.
Right.
3 days.
The
Friday,
reason
Saturday,
being,
Sunday.
though, the reason being, and you had to be more specific with that, because YG was, as much as we put him as an LA rapper, he was tough in the Bay.
Right.
And then when you say the Bay Area, you instantly, for Portland people, instantly get the cousin effect.
Yeah.
So the YG
But
was,
you're not hearing me. 3 days.
He was-
back to back.
he was already
To back.
to back.
he was already popping specifically here in Portland for a very long time.
But he just, I threw that out there because of what he just got done saying about Portland. Like, if people ain't got the bag like that, or if they got a couple of dollars and they rather drive to Seattle, why is it that YG came here for 3 days, sold out, and went to Seattle?
Because he had a West Coast. YG just made the national look. I want to say like the last 5 years, he became a national
we
look.
talk-
He did this, what, 3 years ago?
But
2
we
years
but
ago?
we talk about analytics. We don't know his analytics, bro.
Yeah,
How many people streaming him in Portland? They're
a
basing
lot.
it. I guarantee
Yeah.
they're basing it off of what
A
he's
lot.
looking at numbers wise.
If you look at that too, some of his producers are from Portland. Shout out to Israel.
Yep.
You feel
Chris
me?
England.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of his producers are from Portland. So he got, like I said, before the 5 years ago, He was as far as
Tooted and booted.
Yeah, tooted and booted. As far as his analytics go, he was West Coast all over. West Coast all over. Feel me? So he was in the Seattle, Portland area for a very long time. Tooted and booted came out when I was in middle school.
Right.
So he was tough in middle school for me. You feel me? So high school came out, he was the jerk movement. How tough was the jerk movement here in Portland?
Right.
So that's why I'm saying YG's a different conversation, because everything that went on as far as the West Coast movement, he was implanted in that conversation.
I love how he said the cousin effect, because Portland's been under that for the
beginning of time.
in regards to hip hop.
Yeah.
Forever. Because the Bay Area looked inward and started creating independent companies within itself. They say, "Oh, we don't need the majors. We don't need the majors."
Right.
They were the first area in the country to do that. New York didn't do it. Atlanta didn't do it.
Right.
Atlanta started after the Bay, but the Bay it really created this incredible monster by going inward. Shout out E40. Shout out Earl.
Mac
shout out
Dre.
Studio
Yeah.
Tone, Mac. You know what I mean? A lot of folks that like
entertainment movement.
and I traveled to Fairfield, Vallejo, Oakland every summer growing up because my uncle has family out there. So I stayed out there every summer growing up. And so I watched a lot of these folks, just being a part at the studio with watching him engineer
And
folks.
that's not just you. That's a lot of niggas in Portland too. A lot of people, you can sit down with Portland, you be like, oh, you got stories, personal stories with Filthy Rich.
Right.
The Jacket, Mac Dre. The list
Trunk
goes
stories,
on.
bro.
Yeah.
Trunk stories.
Oh, you
Like,
guys were
real-
Y'all niggas done got in these streets together.
Yeah. And you're like, and you from Portland?
Right.
You never left Portland?
Right,
You
right.
feel me? So that's what I'm saying. It's the cousin effect to where, like, yeah, when the Bay was pushing YG, because like I said, YG is known as an LA rapper, but he really was making his movement with Mustard and them in the Bay.
Right.
So when you push the shit to the Bay, yeah, we're going to hear it. You're going to hear it fast. Like, we got a song with an EBK person. I didn't know that nigga was at the PSU parties all the fucking time.
Right.
I'm like, you from Stockton?
Well, this was known as a college town first. So
Yeah.
Oregon in general was like, we're going to hit U of O, we're going to hit Oregon State. And we just going to, they got bread, they got money, they paying, and there's going to be, bitches. And,
Do you feel like,
You
feel
said
like
it.
though, that when it comes to the Oregon colleges here, we kind of slept on the party scene? Here in Oregon?
Yeah.
Because I went to Mesa, and then I went to Mesa to DJ with Champagne, and then we didn't realize that Mesa was like,
Oh.
there's Tempe.
Yeah.
I felt like we slept on the whole like nightclub party scene of the college shit, and I was
Yep.
like, in my head, I immediately was like, if we would have done this shit,
They was getting bags out here for that. That was the only reason why, and it wasn't in Portland. They wasn't coming to anything in
Eugenes.
Portland.
Yeah,
So
Eugenes.
I don't know, man. I just think it's
Corvallis.
analytics for YG. I think that's the only reason why he does it.
So
Think he's
you
staying
being
true to
a
his fan
person
base.
that
Yeah.
has been to as many states and cities, have the history that you have with this music shit, you feel me, been the places you've been. How does Portland build something as not remotely close to what the Bay or Oakland specifically has, but just something to where artists can start getting the recognition that they deserve for their craft?
I love what Portland Hip Hop Week is doing. I love what they're doing. They're trying to build.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on that one.
No.
I mean,
Look, that's how it's always going to start. It's always going to be like that. If you're going to try to build something, the first 5 to 10 years of building something is always going to be wishy-washy. Now, do you have to have high quality brands and concepts moving forward? Yeah, they don't necessarily have that yet. But the build now is really saying, how do we make a wall for everybody to come and sign and engage in, and you have to go through these lists based on what you create and how you create it, and this is the quality. This wall is the quality.
I feel
QC has not even reached that point yet. There's such bad quality music out there right now. When you throw
say
a mix,
out there, are you talking about Portland or just the world?
I'm talking about Portland. The quality of your music. I'm saying the mix, the fact that you could play the record in the club and people gonna react to it.
Right.
The fact that people are tapping in online. However your market
there's
is.
a 50-50 to that too, though.
And I just genuinely think that until they commit to being a part of something like Hip Hop Week or a conglomerate, right? A QC conglomerate, something that says you have to be at this standard.
There's no standard here.
There's no standard. What is the goal? What is the goal?
Hold on, bro, hold on.
I'm not saying it's the right one. I'm saying that is
we
what's
actually
needed.
talked about this last week, and my issue though with that is I feel like they nitpick at the artists because we don't look at specific artists in that structure.
On one aspect, when it comes to the performance aspect, like until Corona, I haven't really been with that pay to play shit.
Right.
You feel me?
But
when it comes to
100,000 people are
performing at the bars and shit like
Right.
that, I had got to a point where like, not that I'm better than anybody, but it's one of those things where like, bro, I spend bread
Right.
in the fucking studio.
Right.
I spend money to get my shit mixed,
Quality.
my nigga.
Yeah.
So I'd be goddamned if I'm doing all of this work to make sure that I have competing sound, not music, because the music part, that's on me. But the sound of my shit, and you mean to tell me I'm doing the same shows with these same niggas? I'm humble, don't get it fucked up. But it's like, bro, there has to be
Perfect example. No QC. So you do one of those, right? There, it's popping. It's everything that you paid for.
Right.
The next one you do, it's with the same people, not necessarily the same promoters or the same this, but the same people on the show. But the show is whack because the quality of promoter, the quality of venue, the whatever, the QC has no line. There's no line. You could do one in February, by March it's down here. You never know
You
what.
talking about the QC label?
No, I'm talking
No,
about
the
quality
quality
control
control.
in general.
Okay.
In general, I'm saying there's no QC on anything here. So you're getting this.
That is true. That is true. I
So
will say
unless
that.
you have a conglomerate that is going to represent the values that we do now, if they've tapped in with the right people to accumulate those values and to look down and say, all right, this is the list of what we want to represent, until egos are put aside, pride is put aside, and everyone is looked down and built this
that's
list.
what makes
That's
me
not going to happen.
love
Bay Area did it.
motherfucking Atlanta,
Bay Area
bro.
did it.
So
Atlanta did it.
I'll say this though to that effect. Everything you're saying, I'm not even trying to be conceited. I fit that category. When it came to the not the artistry, but when it came to the event booking situation.
Okay, yeah.
Because of the amount of name brand major indie rappers that I brought to Portland under my belt.
Yeah.
The problem is, in my opinion, it's because the name is gang related.
Got you.
That I feel like they closed the door on. Even to the point when you were talking about the club situation, I openly talk about this all the time. I got kicked out of Shake because I played Dre Steves.
Well, think about this though. But if you have a conglomerate or a committee that can sit down with the city, that can sit down with certain people and say, "This isn't that. This is just this." We can have quality
that
events.
I agree with you on. I definitely agree
give
with
us
you
a
on
week of quality, a week to give you quality events, which is what Hip Hop Week is, right?
Right.
They say the city's gonna give us a week to do whatever the fuck we want to do.
But
right?
on that aspect, we can't.
And it all happened with no qualm. Then they say, "Oh, I can build trust in this." Again, the racial undertones are heavy. People in the city like, "I don't give a fuck." That's totally gang related. We not doing that.
Right.
You know how many people got shot when you see all those guys outside looking all like this?
I think the gang
And
part
that's
just
where I'm
is a
upset
second
about
to
the
it.
PDX shit, because it was like, bro, like y'all clearly see. Not again. I'm not trying to be conceited, but you clearly see that my business structure. Yeah, it's a gang name, it's a gang situation. But hey, bro, did you not see the impact that we had on that situation? You might want to at least tap in and be like, we can't put you on this year because the politics within the politics, but we want you to be at least a part of the committee, or at least a part of the conversation when it talks about looking for artists or tapping in with the younger artists to get them prepared, so that when we can do something, we can put them now on the forefront and be like, here, this is how you do it.
I would love to see a sit down of something like that. Start that conversation.
Who needs to be present at these sit downs?
Right. OG1. But again, when something is young, anything, bro. Not just a committee, not just a quality control piece in a cultural build like we're speaking to. Anything young is not going to be right. It's not right. They have to learn. So I love that the conversation, OG1 is someone who needs to start it. That is somebody with clout that can say,
him and Cool Nuts,
we need to do this. And so it takes young folks, mid-level folks that I've been to a few of them, and I've watched how it goes left, it goes right. There's some interesting ebb and flows in the meetings. But
you've been to the PDX meetings?
I've been to a few. I haven't been to all of them, and I'm just saying, I don't think it's right either at this point, but I do think that is the conversation. It's never going to feel appropriate until you break through these walls. That's what those cultures did. Yeah. We're talking about cultures, the Bay Area, that have been around for 30, 40 years now.
I feel like some of the artists, too, that they promote, it bases itself to white America, in my opinion.
That's the corniest shit ever.
I mean,
and it's
100%.
That's where I kind of have the problem, because it was like I'm not talking about me. I was talking about more of Dre Steves. It's been a conversation for a very long time that said Dre Steves is not being represented. I put Dre Steves next to Mikey Vegas, like right there, right below. Like he's getting
Dre's
there.
a beast. Shout out.
Yeah,
Dre.
you feel me? So it's like, why is it that us as Portland cannot push him as one of the major artists? Banked Up Benji too would have been that conversation, but why couldn't we push them? And even to the situation, why did Amine have to leave to get that bag to come back here and say, hey, there's a hip hop in Portland?
Yeah, I don't like talking about him. That's whack.
Bro, I was just getting ready to say, I seen his Instagram, and it was just like, bro, you don't look like a nigga from Portland.
He does it. But this is crazy is growing up, he did go to PAL. You feel me? Yeah, he was in PAL and shit like that. I went to school with his cousin Yusuf and shit like that. So it's like I knew them. So it's like this ain't I don't see this.
I want to touch on the
But
racial.
I like chopping this up with you after the podcast. Even I just want to say, let's really for real. Like OG1 is somebody extremely close to me.
I tried reaching out to him. He just never hit me back.
I know OG. I dated OG's daughter when I was like 10 years old.
Sheesh.
11 years old. So we I've known OG
Hello,
for a
Mr.
long time.
One, how are
Right,
you?
yeah. He was step OG at first. He was, you know what I mean? No, on some real talk, like he's family. So I would love it.
Yeah, definitely.
You represent yourself very well. You always have, bro. But I don't want that narrative to drive. If you represent something so high quality, let's sit down. Let's really have that.
I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like not saying it like this, but I do feel like sometimes I represent the streets in a more non-violent way. I'm like I feel like, and I have been put in this situation before where it's like, nigga, you gotta go talk to them. We gotta sit down. You need to talk to them. I'm like, me, nigga? No, I ain't gonna go talk to them niggas, bro. Y'all shooting each other. But
then,
they're like, nah, y'all, you need to go talk to them.
Then you have a responsibility.
Exactly. And I feel like because of the platform I built, it's showing that my responsibility has been acknowledged and that I am able to, and I had this conversation last week, I'm able to bring $7,000-$10,000 artists to Portland and be like, hey, yo, BFB's coming to Portland. Let's put a Blood, Crip, Hoover, all this shit. Oh, let's throw it on there. Right. Show that we work out. And, hey, it works out.
Love it.
You feel me? Even to the point where my first show was After Pharaoh, I brought Dre and all of them, and Gang Task showed up, pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not you actually are inciting the violence at this point.
Yeah.
So
100%.
So it's like, I feel like I've shown that. I feel like a couple people, Champagne James.
Perfect example,
You feel me? And that was my mentor. That's where I got my game from. So I feel like Champagne James even did it. I feel like there's a bunch of niggas in Portland and that have done that, who have shown that we can have the gang shit, but we know how to, like you were saying earlier, be professional.
Right, right.
And because of that, I feel like they still don't get their just due when it comes to, hey, bro, look at this artist or look at that booking promoter, or they should be in that category. I feel like they made that category. As much as that category is 100% good, and I read through it, I was like, damn, this is thorough. It still wasn't.
We do got to keep it a buck, bro. And I'm not trying to.
It wasn't street related. I feel like they excluded the street shit.
I'm not trying to like put shade on anybody's situation, but I do think like a lot of that shit that they be into the streets really put a black cloud on them to a point where like, do you really want that person's energy in your situation? You feel me?
I understand that, but I also feel like the Bay has shown that it works.
They're also 30 years ahead of us.
They are.
So I'm just saying, we got to go through it not working.
Yeah.
We got to go through a little bit of it not working, and that's gonna lay on people like you, fam.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna lay on folks. It's more your responsibility than maybe even
Right.
You know, and that's something that having to delve into. It's tough, you know, being there for youth that need you. I kind of started realizing that I don't have no kids of my own, but I realized I've been a father figure to a lot of folks.
A lot.
And so I'm like, whoa, that's crazy that you put that responsibility on my plate, and I don't realize it in the moment.
Is that why you started the shoe program?
That's why. Because I realized I have a responsibility. I'm tired. They don't see me up at 4 a.m. sending out emails to every single family that didn't make the list. I'm literally hand myself, not nobody else. I got Jordan Brand on there. Jordan Brand gave me 100 pairs of shoes, bro.
Right.
Delivered them in a black SUV. You see what I'm saying? Like, I got big business. I handled that. I sat down with Microsoft and dictated my own deal. So the reality is, it was a responsibility. Was I tired? Was I burnt out? Was I stressed out? Was I did I maybe lose my focus in the middle of it and almost break down? Yeah, but it's your responsibility in some regard for the streets to represent that. I think
when it came to that
true representative.
When it came to that situation for the shoe program, did you already in your mindset know you were going to go after Jordan, Nike, and all them, or did it just start out with the ideal of I just want to get 100 shoes, 150 shoes to these kids?
Yeah, it started off as just an idea to do an event because I have received, I was at PAL as a kid. I actually lied about my age to get in. I was only 8, I think, or 7, and I wasn't old enough to get in. And I was receiving turkey boxes from Rasheed Wallace. And I remember we were fighting over the last turkey.
Yeah.
We was fighting over the last turkey, and I was like, well, first come, first serve is not how you give to the community. Right. That's not that. Why am I fighting another family? My mom's fighting another family to get this. That's God complex. That ain't how you do it. That's wrong. So I went against the grain, and when I was sitting down with a nonprofit who wanted me to represent them in a different regard and do an event, I told her my idea, and she's like, you do realize that can change the world. And I said, what do you mean? She said, because you're attacking youth and confidence and legacy. You're talking about a legacy. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, because you are the kid you're helping. I'm going to need you to figure that out. We can't help you. That's a lot bigger than what you're talking about. So then when I went back to the drawing board, I said, these are some goals. Within 3 years, no nonprofit has ever gone up every year. I started with 150 pairs of shoes on my own dollar. We ended up helping 500 families, not kids, families. We were raffling off $10,000 sneakers from basketball players. We was raffling off laptops and gaming laptops, $3,000-$4,000 laptops. We had a whole Microsoft 2K tournament. It was all set up. Like, I'm talking about like Michael Jordan. That was
your first event too, right?
That was my third event. That was Laced Up 3. We went from 150 shoes the first year, all on my dollar, PG, Black Mannequin, all the homies, pulled pork sandwiches, stacking kicks, pulled pork sandwiches, like just donated.
I remember that.
At the old PAL at Friends of the Children in the old gym. And then we went the year after that, 250 kids, year after that, 500. So we tripled every year. And you always go down before you go up, just like a business does. And it was in the goals. Jordan Brand and Microsoft was in the goals, but they were not. I didn't think I was going to reach them by year 3, but that was because of that responsibility that I took on and just really holding it on my shoulders and not compromising what that God complex that I spoke to. We didn't do that. You were on a list. The shoe was there waiting for you. It was not first come, first serve. You're going to break bread with your neighbor. You're going to kick it. Then the shoes are at the end.
So you made it so it was already designated for the individual.
The name of the child was on the shoebox.
I like that too. You said that you made them break bread. And
you break bread with your neighbor. You rub elbows with your neighbor. Mm-hmm. You sit down. That's where Mondo's come in, cooking gourmet burgers. You feel me?
I definitely loved how you had a lot of Black-owned businesses come in and actually assist with this program too, because that's how actually I got put on to Black Mannequin.
Word.
And everything like that, because I knew Stacking Kicks from Champagne James.
Yeah.
So when
Shout
I
out
found
my boy Jefferson,
Big D, what up, man?
But when I saw you had all these logos on your shit, and I was like, who are these brands? What are these fucking brands and shit like that? That's when me coming into the Portland hip hop scene, I was like, oh, these is Portland? Oh, these are Black too? Okay, now I'm gonna invest my dollar into that shit now.
Shout out B Wall, Black Mannequin. He believed me from the first day that I told him about the idea. And just pulling up, showing up on time, being professional, like we spoke about, showing up early, being ready, representing your brand, being camera ready, right. Understanding that this is what we want to show kids, that this is how it's done. So I just think the responsibility that we were speaking to is huge, man. It's not everybody wants to do it, and that's why not everybody is.
So what's your responsibility right now?
To show that it doesn't matter where you come from. Where you come from doesn't determine your destination.
Because you came from homelessness.
Absolutely.
A long stretch of it.
Now you got a whole storage unit full of fucking shoes.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, like, I used to sleep in a garage. Now I got a 3-bedroom house with a garage. Now my car got a new house. You see what I'm saying? Like it's different now. You know.
You talking about the one you posted on the book, right?
Oh yeah.
Bro, I know you was happy than a
somebody-
bitch.
hell
I
yeah.
seen that picture.
Oh, bro, happy.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was. Somebody told me that they lived in the same apartments as you.
Oh yeah.
And that
Craig.
Was it Craig?
Little Craig.
Probably. They said they lived in the same apartments as you, and they were rolling by one day, and they saw you at your garage, and they saw the shoes in there, and they were like, "Damn, Mighty's really pushing this shit."
Yeah, hustle, real hustle, bro. 500 pairs of shoes, bro. You see, and I'm a sneakerhead. It starts there too.
Yeah.
But my responsibility is just to prove that there's no, that doesn't determine your destination, bro.
Do you feel
Your circumstances does not determine that.
On God.
You feel like your community breaks that you were doing at Powell assisted with that, with the laced up?
Yeah, because without experiencing those moments, I don't think I would understand what a kid like that is going through. You know what I mean? I know what it feels like to not to feel like you don't matter, bro. Like it's crazy. And so being able to offer that to children, it's like you really do understand. It's not some old white dude pulling up in a Maserati, you know, with a God complex trying to offer whatever to him.
When I ain't gonna dub though. That Mozzie look nice.
100%.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. As a nigga, I would have asked you how you got the Mozzie. And you would have been like, nigga, I came from this motherfucker.
But it's super important that when you're from there, it's just different. Right. It's just different. That is the responsibility shining through. You know, legacy, bro. Lance is a perfect example. Somebody who, you know, is a family man now, but still represent what he wants on stage. And like you were saying, he won't do things unless he, you know, and no, it needs to be this. He's holding his ground. When it works, somebody's going to say, man, I knew it the whole time, even though they were saying, man, you should probably show up early. You know, somebody's going to say that. It's always going to be that. It's the name of the game. But you choose the guns that you're going to, you know what I mean, that you're going to hold yourself by. And I think my personal opinion is community means everything to me because I know what it means to not have anything. And then being able to be professional, sharp, on time, know what I'm doing. That's just who I am, and I'm always going to represent that.
Two things. What do you want to see for your community, and what do you want to see in your future in the next like 5?
In my community, I definitely want to see. I want to see less violence.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I want to see less violence, and I want to see more opportunity.
Opportunity being what?
Man, from ownership to accountability. When I say opportunity, I mean steps in the right direction to help you own and build your own legacy. It's difficult to do that in an area where there is no opportunity. So men like you, like Mac, like a lot of us out here looking back and doing what we need to do to help the kids understand where opportunity is, help navigate opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's an OG's responsibility to do that. I do consider myself a young OG at this point in that regard. So I think opportunity in regards to being able to know who to seek out to get that. And right now there's not a lot of events or things to go to hone that craft. And then I would say less violence, just in, you know, having a place like Powell to go where you can let things out. They can't go to these places and just let out all that energy they got.
When
COVID
they closed that
put
shit
us
for
in
the kids, it definitely incited a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It definitely incited a lot of shit. Because even the Powell shit, I was in the streets, but I was in the streets after Powell.
Right.
By that time, I was ready to go to sleep. You feel me? So it was like, because y'all had us. It was school. Then it was the Sun program. Right. And then after the Sun program, it was Powell. Powell was open till like 7:30, unless you guys did midnight ball. You feel me? And so it was like when that Powell shit happened. Even what you're saying now, where you're like, you got to be involved and know what's going on. Even in that situation, that's really helped me push my situation with. Oh, I'm gonna start doing this shit for the kids, bringing these rappers in, because I wish I had those opportunities when I was in the 2006, 2007, 2008. Because by the time 2009 came and I was in high school, I was like, nigga, fuck that shit, nigga.
Well, watch this. That was opportunity for less violence. So the actual answer to the question before, it's exactly what we're talking about. Right. He had opportunity to not have as much violence. If you go and you hoop for 5 hours, you burnt the fuck out. You don't go to the party like you thought you was going to. Man, I'm tired, bro. I'm just gonna hit the hay. You do that for 100 kids every weekend. Think about what level you're bringing down. It's a bigger picture. So the opportunity for less violence, that's an opportunity. Isn't that crazy to think of?
It's integration.
Right. So you're learning the output and input of what you're doing in your community, and that is what I guess I want to see in my community. I want to see more opportunity for them in multiple ways, and that will, I think, in turn offer less violence and less friction.
And I feel like opportunity and education. Yeah. I feel like those two need to come back to the situation, because before the situation with COVID, there was opportunity because they had programs, they had events. I remember DJing numbers of events when it came for just the all age in the teenage situation. So I remember the events, but I feel like even then, the education of know who yourself is, and build yourself up, man. Like we haven't seen that, and I know there was probably like 2 programs that was out there where there were men going out there and reaching out to other boys, and they were like, let's do that mentorship program where I teach you how to become a man and stuff like that.
Big Brother program.
The Big Brother program.
Men like me,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, men like me. Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
I remember there was some that was getting out there, but because of COVID, it got hit. But I feel like as much as we definitely need that, we need that
see
a
Mighty as a big
long
brother.
time ago.
Oh,
You got that Big Brother
hey,
vibe.
right on. Big little brother, little big brother,
Little big brother.
What does height got to do with it?
Yeah, you told him to sign his name where he could.
yeah. Hey, choose where you could reach at, brother.
Yeah, choose what you can reach at.
There was no sub.
This nigga got the chin.
No sub.
Moving on.
What about you? What you see for you in the next 5?
Next
From
5.
a person that has had nothing, that has, I wouldn't say everything, but you got what you want.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. $250,000 a year.
Damn.
Is the goal. I just pulled in 25 this month. I'm trying to make 20 a month. $250,000 a year is my goal for right now. In the next 5, I'll definitely be there. No questions asked. And then home ownership.
Jesus.
In stone, goddammit.
Create a label. I want to sign.
Hey, like it ain't.
That was my next question. Hold on.
No questions
Hold on, sir.
asked. And then being able to facilitate those opportunities for the community that I spoke to before. I want to be the head general to all that because I know I have what it takes, and I know with capital of that nature I could facilitate. And then just retiring my mama.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
That's it.
Man, that'd be amazing.
5 years.
Bro.
I guarantee that would happen.
Yeah, you want to be management. Yeah.
We'll see. I think I could do it, but I just think it would. We spoke about what the culture needs right now, and I think we got to get through that first. I don't think that's 5. I think that's 10.
That's a lifetime.
I think that's 10 plus. I don't in the next 5. No.
Would you tell? How do I explain this? The money that you're making, because you say you got 25 this month. I'm not trying to be in your business.
No.
So was that because a lot of artists don't realize the game that goes into it. They don't realize that you got to sell merch, or maybe you need to have another business on the side that's pushing that line so that you can pay for this. Would you say that your 25 came directly off of music, or would you say that it was the other shit involved that helped push your music, as well as maybe not even from your music, maybe it was from your whole different business? You feel me?
Definitely off music.
Definitely off music.
100% off music.
The 20?
The 25, yes. 100% off music. I landed off one song. I landed 2 ads. That's MGM Studios for movies.
I knew he was going for this because I saw the Facebook, so that's why I wanted him to say it.
I landed with MGM, the same song. That same song only took me an hour to write. They took that twice. They doubled back. I also shortlisted for Nike and Gatorade. I didn't land them. I will. I guarantee you I will. It's only been my first year with Sync Licensing. I landed 5 placements. I also landed a Snapchat ad this month.
What do you mean? What is Sync Licensing?
Sync Licensing is basically your music being placed in movies, video games, TV, commercials, YouTube.
Anybody
you name
can
it.
get that?
Anybody can get that. Sync Licensing. You can search that if you'd like. Marmoset is based here. Marmoset is one of the biggest sync license companies in the world. It's based here in Portland, Oregon.
What happened?
Marmoset.
Oh, Marmoset?
Hey, I'm saying.
That's him?
Well, it's
No, that's where I got my game from.
yeah. So
Like, what the hell?
Shout out OG.
yeah, shout out OG. Marmoset is a perfect example, but shout out Easy McCoy. Easy
Yes, I
McCoy.
was gonna say that
Easy McCoy is the one who put
I
me
saw
on
his
game.
GoPro commercial.
Oh, dude. And
Yeah.
I landed GoPro right after that. So we have been, he plugged me. The thing is, I showed up early. I left late. One studio session, I did 6 songs. 2 of those are the ones that actually landed that I'm telling you about. And then the other 3 were from me signing deals with 2 of the producers that were in those sessions. I was there for 4 hours, did 6 songs. No one wrote more than me in that entire session. Easy was like, you just came in and smashed. Those 2 white boys that was producing called me the next night and said, hey, we would love to sit down and create and figure some things out. I ended up signing 2 licensing deals, and now I've been locked in for a year. I did this last year amidst COVID-19 hitting us. I landed that last year. Within 1 year, I've landed 5 notable syncs. I've shortlisted 4 times, which means I almost made it, made the ad. And then on top of that, I just get to create music for free, right? So I just get to go, it's mix and mastered, the sessions, all of it is just...
Oh, that's what the licensing thing
Right,
did?
they take care of everything, right? So...
You're getting paid for your artistry.
Sign
Right.
me up. But
All I'm saying is...
No gang shit?
Hey, all I'm saying... I got a GoPro, I can pull my Instagram right now. GoPro used my shit, Game Winner. They use that, it's just like 500,000 views on their Instagram. They use that. That's on their YouTube as well. And it's on every...
Are they signing you to check because they don't want you to get the royalties off of the,
No,
the views?
you own the royalties. You own
So you
it.
get that too?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, this nigga coming in.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's rolling.
So if y'all don't know, sync licensing.
Yeah, sync licensing. Yeah, no, 100%. If you don't know, you probably should. That's what things like Hip Hop Week and and QC should be doing for a lot of what we have here. The knowledge.
Because the content. Let me think about how to put this. Because I know the content of the song matters, but like, is there
100%.
placement for explicit content
Yes.
as well, or is it more you're opening more doors for the more censored version songs, correct?
Yeah, sync licensing used to be known as like making like jingles, like Jamie Foxx, like the Jamie Foxx show.
I'll do that.
That's what it was known as a long time ago. But ever since Apple and Samsung started going at it, and certain people, even Coca-Cola and Pepsi, were building certain legacies around using hip hop. EDM, I mean, just a lot of derivative from the soul and hip hop world, even rock sometimes, it started turning into that's how you break certain artists. Right. You could break certain artists through sync licensing, and a lot of people have. So you land an Apple ad, you can land an Apple ad and have albums of your own, but that one Apple ad will make you go viral, and you land in something like Fast and the Furious 9, which is a huge A-list.
I've seen that playlist.
Right. So there's key things that you land and that just generates money forever.
Do you think it's faster for you to get noted as far as an artist through sync licensing than it would be just trying to go through the channels and getting signed through a label?
I think it'll fund your career. I think it would be faster only because it could fund your career.
It will fund the career, and I also think it will build a stronger platform for you to be a independent artist.
100%.
You wouldn't need
full ownership.
You wouldn't need the label at that point.
Right, fund it. That's all a label does.
Would you say that? What would you say your smallest check was from sync licensing?
$2,500.
That's still a bag for anybody who's 16.
That's my smallest. That's my smallest. I landed one that I had to split. That's the one thing. If you do it with a lot of different people, if there's a lot of different producers on, you got to split a lot of shit. But you still own everything you did. But the ones I made the most money off of are one producer and then me rapping the whole record. So, and it's all original sound, all original everything. Yeah. So there is no cutting, there's no sampling. You can't sample and sync licensing. It's not a thing because royalties then are getting really messy.
Yeah.
But then you learn that it's all based on relationships. You build relationships with GoPro. You've given them 3 records in the past, and they're like, man, we love coming to you because you give us what we need. We got the snowboard video that we think is just going to be huge on the commercial. We got a new camera coming out. We got this, we got that. Let's tap in with them. They give you a brief. You basically provide for them. So you do need your own rig. You need to be able to create on the fly. You need to be able to adjust on the fly. But if you know, I've been engineering myself since I was 17 years old, so I know how to engineer. It's nothing to be able to just... You know what I mean? I record myself and you get a final product within hours. So as long as you're taking in briefs and understand that you can give them what they want and you're creating high quality content. Easy McCoy is a beast when it comes to creating high quality content. The dude knows how to hit. I mean, from ESPN to...
And model.
Like the dude is a beast, and he gave me the game. We had been wanting to sit down and do this for a long time, but eventually it just happened. I just showed up at a session, but again, my professionalism, my execution is what got me to sit down with the other folks. And now I'm sitting here. He's like, man, you only starting. You just started. I landed 5 syncs in my first year. That's incredible. Damn. Like that ain't even like I'm gonna land 5 a quarter.
That's your goal.
Yeah, we gonna.
You said I did 5 in a year. Well, I'm trying to get 5 in a quarter.
Oh,
I'm like, man, that's 20.
That's big back talk, nigga.
I'm when I say like yes,
Yeah. No,
it's not if, it's when, but also like you said, explicit content. We talk kind of about, I love that you said Disney, Most people get in their feelings when somebody say that.
Nah,
I thought
that
you-
just
I
puts, that puts it on a different
I
level.
thought you were gonna get mad about the bubble gum.
Yeah, corporate.
Yeah,
My nigga.
commercial.
He
You
already
said
said you wanted
commercial.
that. He already
No,
said you
it was a perfect example, but that's what's offered me.
A motherfucker would get pissed though.
Right.
So you're not allowed to do explicit shit on the sync.
I cuss on sync, but you just have to have a clean version.
Okay.
You just have to have a clean version. And is it a banger or not?
Do you submit the clean version to them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because you said you cuss on sync, so I was like,
Yeah. No, the key is just knowing that like content is a driver for those things. They're not looking for a dope song. You watch a new Gatorade ad that I just watched the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, I can do that. I can do that right now. And went into the studio, created something very similar to it, but then I cussed a couple times, and I was like, man, let me take some of this out, and let me find some different ways to express myself, because I already shortlisted for Gatorade, and I don't want to lose that opportunity. Right. So now, I think I'm gonna land it because I'm starting to see the ebb and the flow of what the business.
You understand what is needed,
right?
Do you still get to distribute through your own?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You still own it.
So you still distribute your music, but then you send them what? You send them
Whatever they want. You usually send instrumental, hook and instrumental cut. Whatever cut they might like from the songs, they give you timestamps, and then you give them, original vocal, original instrumental, and it just.
Are they also the distribution company at that point, or
no? You still own it, so it's still through DistroKid. You can release it on your own if you want, but some people like Apple want exclusive rights to certain things, so that's a different type of deal. But I mean, they happen all the time, and they're usually 6 figures.
Yeah. So for a 16-year-old, 17, 18-year-old who's listening
That's
to
when
you right
track
now.
outs come into play.
Right.
100%.
We're not doing that with the waves.
I was just about to say
ain't no
that.
two-track wave. No two-track wave.
But for them, so they can get the understanding. Because I'm as soon as we done with this shit and it gets pushed, I'm gonna send it to every little nigga I know. Hey, bro, I think you need to find this.
Yeah.
But if a kid has DistroKid, he would either send them the original and be like, I haven't released it yet, or he would put it on DistroKid and then be like, hey, I think you should listen to this.
I think to have traction already is always better. But looking through, get on Marmoset's site. People who are looking for licensing opportunities, go to Marmoset and say, all right, we have 3 commercials with GoPro tonight. We need to lock in music for these 3 GoPro commercials. Let's search through Marmoset. I need something that sounds like Logic. I need something that sounds like Drake. All right, cool. Search through. Once they find that sound, if your distribution, which usually does, DistroKid usually does, put it on Marmoset, make sure that it's available, create a profile, be a part of the community. Then once you land once or twice, I'm telling you, it's a rolling ball. That people, you find the sounds that people are looking for. You find that. I just got lucky that I found it. Right. And so I worked hard for it. I just feel like this is back pay, bro. I mean, I don't know. This is retro.
Do you feel like
I don't know. Y'all talking like, hey, man. I'm like, that's owed to me, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Some people don't understand that game, or they hear other people talk about it, but they truly don't understand it.
They're actually paying me very little for the time I've put into this.
Whoa.
You see what I'm saying?
That's how you're supposed to think, or that's factual for you?
That's how you're supposed to think. I think it is factual for me, but it's not always going to be factual for a lot of people.
Do you feel like doing the license sampling? Do you feel like doing the sync licensing makes it a ageless situation in the rap game?
Yep. You can live on forever.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And that's how you make money off your music without, because
you don't even need to go.
I think I've had this conversation with other people before, but not necessarily, bro. When it comes to making music. Making money off of music, I've never really wanted to be that motherfucker to...
We just gonna pull out facts real quick.
For
budgeting, your disbursement looks to be in the neighborhood of 4K this quarter. This is from one opportunity, just one. That's this quarter, which technically...
Times that by 5.
This is one song. Yeah, this is one song. That is dispersed on the 19th to the 23rd.
That's crazy.
That's one song. I released... I've done hella songs and sing. I lost count.
Right.
That's one song. That's one disbursement from one opportunity. One, 4K. The song ain't even 3 minutes long. I just made 4,000 off of that. I did nothing.
Bro, I'm trying to sleep on the same
That's my
couch this
take
nigga was
home,
sleeping on.
bro. That's my take home. That's what I'm
I need
trying
the
to
same
tell you.
couch. What brand of couch was you sleeping on, bro?
But that was just facts, just to show you that I literally just that was just earlier today. We just looked and seen that that's just earlier today. So
That's when you really do need an accountant. Yeah, hey.
it's a real thing, man. Sync
Fuck my whole
licensing
train of
and
thought
hip hop runs the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sync they want
I should
they need
the
sync licensing.
shit out of some of these TV commercials.
Yeah.
Nigga, who the fuck's
Banging,
that?
right? It's banging, ain't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh god.
So, I just think that it's not always about how kids are so worried about how popular they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody worried about how popular you are. It's not a
internet.
popularity
Clout
contest all
versus
the time.
money. That's what it is. Clout versus money.
Bags
The
over
internet
clout.
has fucked up these kids, not just kids,
Right.
men,
Adults.
women's minds, bro.
Bags over clout. That's why I dropped that, because I do it for the fam. I don't do it for the clout. You know what I'm saying? It was just it was a statement that I kept saying. I'm like, man, I'm chasing these bags, but like, what is it all for? Do I really want to be popular? Does it really need to be under Mighty? They asked me, they were like, do you want to go with a different moniker for this? If you like, just let me know. I'm like, oh, I can? I was so used to being like, no, it must represent me. I must represent. It's my voice, you know? And I'm like, whoa, they're so used to just being like, no, I got like 7 different. I'm like, oh, y'all making bags.
When we went to LA, there was this artist I met out there. He did some kind of weird, I don't want to call it weird, but different kind of music. It was like, it was rap, but it was something different. But bro had like, he was showing me his Spotify's, but he had like 4 or 5 different names as an artist in Spotify, and each one 10,000 followers. You feel me? 20, 15. Like, bro, how are you growing so many different pages or Spotify playlisting like this?
That's how I be saying about people with Instagrams. Like, bro, you just created this. You already got 1 million again.
Right.
How? What's the algorithm?
And see,
What's the
but
algorithm?
the content is so concentrated. You know, it's called, pinpoint, streaming. You pinpoint where you want to land. I land on a lot of gym. Like, I just landed the gym motivation playlist, which is huge for me because I haven't been able to do that, bro.
They had the rock on there. I saw that.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that was hard.
playlisting, he shouted it out. That's why they got so many likes. He shouted it out, and like that gym playlist is like one of the #1 gym playlists on Spotify. You go to that, so many people go to that playlist, bro. I have one song on there that landed before this one, but I'm featured. It's actually me and Easy McCoy.
Oh, shit.
I'm featured, and that has 150,000 streams right now. You can go look. It's called Champion Part 2. That's on that playlist. I've never just landed one like that on my own. So pinpointing those key elements that are going to win for you, understanding.
That's where the playlisting goes from.
Right.
A
Understanding.
lot of people don't know about playlisting.
Understanding who I am and the corporate level, or like the professionalism, the directional element that I have as an artist is almost playing to my favor now in my career, because I can narrow my focus, but that helps. That dude
But
just
when it
narrowed
comes to
4 different focuses and one.
When it comes to these playlisting, though, we got to keep it a buck. That's when artists really have to have that conversation with themselves on what kind of artist do you really want to be?
Yeah.
Because when it comes to those kind of playlists, let's keep it a buck.
Yep.
That's when we're going back to the whole Disney Channel shit.
Yep.
So, Mozzie is not the greatest example because he has got on major playlisting, you feel me? But somebody like a Filthy Rich or motherfucking a EBK artist, you feel me?
Yeah.
You're not gonna see
yeah,
them
EBK is
on them.
definitely not
You're
gonna
not
be on
gonna
some
see
of
them
them.
on there. But a motherfucker like
I got on there. I was surprised. I was surprised I got on.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
a Dizzy Wright, maybe, you
Right,
feel me?
right.
Like you might catch Cuz on there, you feel me? You gonna catch the Mighties, you feel me? Because they
You're not. You're saying that the
cater to a certain kind of
You're saying
crowd.
Right.
the playlisting won't encourage gang activity.
It's not even gang activity, it's the style of rap.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just
That part is number 2.
this is detrimental in a lot of ways for artists, because landing playlists and then building an actual fan base is tough. But the only thing you need to worry about is converting a passive fan to an active fan.
Right.
How many times have you done that? You just did that. We just did that right before this podcast
I
started.
got an average of 70 people
Right.
that I know I could pull up right now.
Right.
Hey, I got a function. Show your ass
Right.
up.
But can you
I'm performing.
And can you convert that passive fan, the one that does just hit you on this playlist? So is your content driving to the right people to want to be converted to an active fan? There's somebody that I listen to, some white dude from New York. He's dope. I love R&B. I listen to R&B all the time. This dude named John Splitoff. He looks like an accountant. The dude he's so corny looking, but the boy could sing his ass off,
Jason.
right? And he could sing his ass off. I heard him on a playlist. He converted me into an active fan. He dropped a music video shortly after that. I ended up watching it. Now I'm tuned into live videos of him in New York performing. Sounds better than he did on the record. So all of these things, now I have his playlist. I have 2 or 3 of his albums on my playlist. He's signed to a major. He's doing his last music video only has like 8,000 or 9,000 views. It's not massive.
Yeah,
but
you don't need masters to be signed to a label.
Right.
Yeah, it's a major.
And it's just crazy to watch him that he converted me naturally. And I just kept thinking back, like, how did I get converted? How did he just kept showing up on my playlist when I'm doing something and I would like it, I'd thumb it up, and then YouTube's like, oh, you thumbing up over there? You liking this over here? Let me hit you with a new split off video. Boom. And then I tap in, then I get you on my. Now I've played him I'm probably responsible for 50,000 streams of John Splitoff naturally, right? Because I've just listened to.
I mighty want to check from this man. That's what it sounds like, bro. What's the cash app?
Hey, you're right.
5 cents per CPR.
Hey,
CPM.
100. I'm just trying to be that for other people, right? I want to learn how to do that at a high level. When you're talking about syncing, you're talking about true fandom and building that. It's 2 very different things, but obviously Mozzie has a cult following, right? And then
I think it was the movie Black Panther that did
Black
it for him.
Panther jumped him off, yeah.
Like a
Because
motherfucker.
it was for me. It was an "Excuse Me" song for me because I was a DJ. So it was the "Excuse Me," and there was another one that he had with like Too Short. And those 2,
I was fans of Mozzie years
No,
before all that,
as
but
a DJ,
on a bigger level.
Yeah, I was talking about the bigger level because I remember when he was dissing CML. So
Right.
but I'm
Before
saying
the dreads.
Before the dreads, yeah. So for me, it was like "Excuse Me" and the song what he did with Too Short, and then out of nowhere, Black Panther, boom. Now we got this Mozzie. And this Mozzie sound 10 times better than the Mozzie from the past because I feel like now that he got that following, he could be like, this is the real me. Let's
what
talk
converted you as an active fan for Mozzie?
For Mozzie?
Yeah.
I feel like I was a fan from Jump.
From Jump. First time you heard him, you were active.
I fucking with this nigga.
But that's because I feel like you was in the rap game for a minute. So you as a rapper understood and respected how much
it wasn't even the gang shit.
No,
it was really
I'm not
just the music.
I'm not talking about the gang shit. I'm saying you as a independent artist starting out pushing the bar. Like you said, I was in the bars. I was doing the concerts and shit like that. When you saw that he was getting a little bit of love,
You related to it?
You related to it. Like right now, when I came in, I was like, y'all need to listen to Tupac. That nigga from
I
Seattle.
listened to him for the same reasons I listened to Pac, The Struggle. The gang shit was entertaining. What I felt and connected to the music was The Struggle.
How did the music reach you?
Mozzie?
Yeah. How did it reach you? How did it get in front of you? Was he on the radio? Was he
It was
gang
YouTube.
shit.
It was YouTube.
was it
gang
YouTube?
shit.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
it was YouTube. And
Word of
people,
mouth?
Word of mouth. Yeah, definitely.
No, just big homies,
Okay.
gang shit.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yep. Okay.
I knew of him, but not the music. But then the music, I forgot how the music even hit me.
But do
keep
you?
it a buck.
But think about that. Think about how that relation makes you feel. You're like, man, I heard this from someone that I trust, right? And they telling me that I need to fuck with this. You fucking with this? I'm gonna try and fuck with. I'm gonna go listen to some more. I fuck with that one verse you did on this one.
I
and
thought it
the
was dope when I got the chance to. He was on tour for the Baggage Claim album that he had put out, and I was the host for his show out in Washington.
Man, let's go.
You were the host.
Yep, and then that show is what landed me to
how'd you get
open
the
up
hosting?
for Filthy Rich in Utah.
Okay.
How'd you
okay.
get the hosting?
The person that put it together, I knew him from back home.
So
And he was doing shows up and down this way. So every time he did shows out here, he'd tap in with me because he knew I was from back home. So that's how I got Rapping Forte, bro, hella people, bro.
Yeah.
Hella people.
Yeah.
And then he was on the fly too. He was on the way up here. Oh, I need someone to host the show. Who can do it, bro? I said me too. Like a day later, I'm on my way to fucking
What I love about that is that's trust, though. That's hometown trust. That's what you're saying. Portland goes out to this little area. Portland start bubbling. But when we do go to Idaho, are we gonna bring motherfuckers with us? Is somebody gonna relocate out there and understand that, like, no, you need to plug in.
Right.
You need like that's a huge cultural build that the Bay has always done. California has always done. They were really the foremans of what that means, and we could soak up that game from somebody like that. That opportunity came on your lap because of their culture.
You said, now I know. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, with me doing what I'm doing with everything Excel, like the fact that I keep making these trips back and forth from here to Georgia, it's like, and I hate to keep saying Atlanta like to be dick riding. It's not dick riding. It's the fact that I know that, okay, what they're doing out there with music, we very much could be doing out here with music too.
Right.
But it's gonna take hey, look, I'm doing it. You feel me? Come on, y'all. Like, who's gonna come with me to keep doing this?
Right.
Motherfuckers have to see other people doing it first for them to trust that the process works.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that, bro. Just trust the process from the get-go, and we could have been doing this together instead of one person.
To go off of
feel
what
me?
you were saying too, it's actually what I was about to get to. Do you feel like we know hip hop been in Portland since the 80s, right? I was just telling him about me meeting somebody who was part of the U Crew.
The U Crew. Shout out to U Crew.
Yeah, it's a shout out to Coach West. You know?
Yeah.
But me talking to Coach West, I found out like Portland hip hop has been involved with a lot of major things, especially out in California since the 80s. Do you feel like, though, because you did say that the Bay was 30 years ahead of us, so do you feel like we are still like really behind on that structure of finally getting our shit together? Not even for getting noticed, but getting our shit together. Because it sounds like you're saying we're like only like a 10-year-old, 5-year-old culture right now.
Right. Well, yeah, because it was very concentrated back then in the 80s, super duper concentrated. Hip hop in general was. I think hip hop is expanded to insurmountable levels that we could never imagine. Hip hop was not supposed to go that far. Right. So in general, it's just progressed so rapidly that any small culture just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. The kid in West Lynn is listening to Mozzie. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and it's accessible now. So there's
Hell
things,
gang.
right.
For y'all that don't know, West Lynn is a rich community.
Right. The real concept of that is it's very prominent now. So I think that we're still very much behind, but with breakthroughs like Amine, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I understand.
Him and Daniel, I definitely can appreciate from
Right.
him.
I understand the hustle.
more.
I respect the hustle. I know you working your ass off. I'm never going to disrespect nobody who worked their ass off. You
just feel
did
like
what
that's
you
the
needed to do to
wrong
get to where you at.
Representation.
Right. It's not a accurate one, right?
Right.
So we feel that way because we're from here and we know that. So or we are here and we know that. But the reality is, I think those breakthroughs have kind of spoken to that. There's big money here. There's ways to do it. You can utilize your resources, but they weren't local resources. They weren't, there was no local in it, I don't think, So I think until we have someone who breaks through that utilized local resources to some degree and reaches back, if Amine reaches back and says, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Danielle does the same thing.
Yeah.
Casso, that's my dog. Like, reach back.
I think Amine needs to grab at least one, but hopefully two Portland artists.
Yeah.
I feel like
From the streets.
not Amine in general, but somebody in Portland needs to start a festival.
Well, they had the what's the shit?
Pick a
Pole
time.
Hop.
Oh, Pole Hop, yep.
But I had a conversation with Nuts about that, and I feel his point of view with that. You feel me? That's something that he got to speak on. But
I was speaking more on the Rolling Loud type of festivals.
Right.
bro, that goes into the politics, like,
Right.
bro.
Yeah, no,
they
and
couldn't have that here.
I think they could.
It'd be the perfect place to have something like that here. But
I think it could, and I actually see it doing. Somebody's actually doing it right now, and they're just waiting for the laws or the permits to do it. But they already have the contract. They're already ready. They're supposed to be doing it. But
I think
feel
it would
like if
work.
they do that, it would work.
Hopefully.
Bringing those big of an artists to Portland, and then under sub headlining, you have the, hey, Portland artists, we have an opportunity for you. I feel like that would work.
we need that. I agree.
Yeah, and I think it brings people together. I think sometimes when you're breaking bread together, like we were speaking about with Laced Up, when you break bread together, it's something different. You know, when you eating when you eating food with somebody, across the table with somebody, you know, getting money with somebody, splitting a bag with somebody, that's
I'll split
different.
a bag with everybody.
It's
that was in
different,
the
but
room
everybody ain't
Right.
meant
Yeah.
to eat at the same table.
right.
Not
But
everybody's
you'll know,
yeah,
you'll know, you'll be able to know and identify.
Even so, like, as much as not everybody needs to eat at the same table, you still showing them what you're doing, they gonna get their own bag.
Right.
They gonna eat for themselves. If they don't eat for themselves, then obviously they misusing the time and opportunity they have with
Right.
you.
Right. Man.
How you gentlemen feel about that podcast?
Yeah, we touched under 2. I feel good. Yeah, we touched under.
Okay.
Under. Because last time we was like 210. I was
Nigga,
like,
my motherfucking
hey, that
leg is
AC.
I'm hot as hell.
Oh God, I'm trying to
Man,
smoke, but
trying to
I'm
turn that
turning this
AC
AC, man. But yeah, man, that was appreciate you, family.
Absolutely.
That was
Absolutely.
It was a lot of
that's
game.
one, you
That was a
feel me?
lot of game.
Well, I like being able to touch on the sync licensing. That was dope. That's solid for some young folks.
That's new for me, and I have a friend that as soon as we get done, I'm Luna. Hey, Luna.
Luna's a good example. When he seen that I was landing some playlists and he was seeing that I was using SubHub, but a lot of people don't win on SubHub.
Yeah, you don't.
I made $4,000 off SubHub alone, or $3,000 take home off SubHub alone in 2 months. But it's because I did the right. It was just the right
their
process,
playlist,
bro.
yeah.
You have to tap in with people.
So, do you-
Why are y'all just cold calling motherfuckers, man?
Why? So, my question then with that then is because I knew about SubHub. So, are you saying then that there's better places to go to for the playlisting?
Yeah, I think if you narrow down curators and influencers, and you understand that this song, like Bags Over Clout, does way better with influencers because it's more bouncy, it's more of a vibe, and the statement Bags Over Clout is just kind of dope, right? They just kind of that's
They
a
gonna vibe
tagline,
with it
right?
personally.
It's very simple. It attacks the right melody line. But then Homecoming playlist like a motherfucker. I landed 40 playlists for Homecoming. It's only been out 2 weeks now. 40 playlists, bro.
Yeah, I remember you was
That's-
on Facebook happy.
That shit crazy,
He
bro.
was on
I ain't
Facebook
never played,
happy.
and that's from in my world. I don't play lists
So
very
you're,
well.
you're telling the artist then not only should they do play, basically because you've been giving a lot of game right now.
Yeah.
You're telling them when you make a song, you should go after playlisting. You know, go to your SubHubs or go to your, I think Imperium is one of them I sent you to.
Yeah.
But go to your Imperium, go to your
got me
SubHubs. But then
cracking right
I
now.
don't. Hey, bro, this
Nigga,
nigga-
I ain't checked my motherfucking Spotify artist little page so much in my fucking life.
Looking at it like, ooh,
Oh
Imperium-
God,
Imperium
bro!
be plugging.
Hey, I ain't gonna woof, nigga. Nigga got a heart on one morning when I woke up and I seen there was 5 people listening to my shit. Okay, nigga, I'm cracking
right now, live.
Y'all got me fucked up.
You rolling
nigga.
shit like motherfucker 5
Okay.
motherfuckers. I'm gonna share this weed with
Shit,
all.
nigga, I'm about to play it with y'all. You feel me? We
pass,
thugging.
motherfucker.
But you're also saying on top of playlisting, they should go after influencers as far as like what shout outs or as far as what
TikTok, anything. I mean, just really just
get your song played through
Yeah.
TikTok, get your song played through, and
Play
there's
for
websites
whatever.
for
But you
that.
gotta make TikTok music.
Nah,
But no,
there's
no.
TikTok is now for everything. I just
No.
saw a gang member TikTok that was hilarious.
Man, it's hilarious. Like I'll tell you, this one kid who does
I just
skateboard
can't
moves.
do it myself.
This one dude that does skateboard moves. He has 50,000 followers
Just off of skateboard
Just
moves.
off skateboard moves, and he just whatever the move kind of like bounces like almost. He puts a song that matches. He tells you on SubHub like, man, if I do a move that kind of matches the tempo. So hit me with 2 or 3 different joints, and I'll just see if I can match the tempo.
But you
Tink,
but you
look
paying
at
for
Tink.
that though.
Yeah, you're paying for the playlisting too.
But you're always gonna
No,
do that.
I get that, but
Your
I don't
credits?
think people know that you got to pay for the credits on.
$1? You're
No,
paying
I'm not tripping off the dollar.
Right.
You talking about $1 for the SubHub or $1 for the influencers?
the credit.
The credits. You,
So-
you pay
So
by
he
the
was
credits.
$8. It cost $8 to be
I'm not
played
tripping.
7,000. He played it. He has like
Toby, somebody, the artist from Texas, he created a similar program too. Similar one.
Toby Nwe.
Yeah. He has an app now, business app for it.
Swear.
Yeah, where you can just buy into playlistings and buy into influencers. So, like I said, back to what I was saying. So, you're telling a child who's coming into this thing, he wants to be a rapper growing up. Hey, 1, DistroKid or whatever your independent distribution is going to be. 2, go after the playlisting, but also go after influencers. And yes, pay what you need to because you're going to get the bag in the end.
Right.
And the last one is hey, you should probably on top, besides the music videos and trying to get your YouTube up, sync licensing, because that's going to pay for everything that you're over here
Immediately.
trying to get.
In a nutshell, is exactly what I'm saying. I think that's a perfect example of how something
off your
can
music.
how something can generate enough revenue monthly, quarterly. Disbursements come quarterly from sync, but yeah, a perfect example is that and then you got to know what you're making music for. My sync music doesn't sound exactly like Mighty's brand, right?
Right.
I don't compromise my sound, but it's it's a mixed bag, right? With sync licensing.
Are you still dropping both bags on your Mighty profiles?
Yep.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, because he said,
Wait, say that again.
because okay, so he said his sync bag doesn't match with his Mighty bag. So him as an artist for Mighty sounds totally different than the commercial rap that he's making for them.
Right.
I was asking if they were both though on his Spotify, his iTunes, all that. He said, yeah.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
So
Some people are scared to put two different artists. They're two, because I have a friend who has an artist for his R&B and he has an artist for his rap, because he's scared that if he puts it together, they're not going to communicate well because they're going to be confused on who is he.
But that's what we talked about.
I get that.
But that's what we talked about, the monikers being able to change. Don't be afraid to diversify. So I think if you're going to do that, if you're going to have two lives, have that. Exist. Everything XL exists without Matt. It does. It just does. It won't
Look at that. Look at that.
because you
can't
work
even
hard.
take it.
But you see what I'm saying, though?
He been up here one time and already trying to kick me out the motherfucking picture. Ain't this a bitch?
But that's a real thing, though. It's
No, I
a real
feel
thing.
that.
And you
It's about the brand.
Yeah, you created it to do that. You at one point in your life, you want to be in an office with your wife, chilling,
I just wanna be
and
retired.
somebody's hosting the Everything XL podcast. That's the number one. You
Give
do
me
see what I'm
10
saying?
years.
You
Give me
want to
10
make
years.
branch. Give me some franchises.
But that's right.
Bro, just tell me you want a piece of this shit.
I want a piece of everything I've mentioned today on the podcast. I'm gonna need that royalty.
I fucks with Mighty.
The one thing
caught
nobody
on to
can
that.
ever say about me, I'm always about the bag. I've always been about the bag.
Fish Tank, or what's that show?
Shark Tank. He
Man.
said
Fish tank.
He said fish tank.
Shark
I like though how you are about your bag, but you still give game to artists.
And I'll never be insecure about giving any knowledge or info.
I ain't gonna
Ever.
dub. I have paid for some info that I was like, nigga.
94 points. If you don't shut the fuck up so we can end this podcast.
No, I'm ending it, but I'm like, nigga. That's what I'm saying. I'm just happy that for somebody who's getting a bag off for something like this and really, really doing what he's doing and pushing his movement, like, nigga, you still are coming back and saying, this is how I did it. Without the bullshit YouTube videos of
Yeah.
somebody's like, I'm gonna show you how to get 10
Right.
playlists, and then they don't
Right.
even fucking say it.
They
You
want
gotta
you
go
to-
buy the ebook.
Right.
Bro, fuck your
really,
ebook.
Yeah, it's really a blessing to have you in here though and spitting this, because as soon as this comes out, I'm sending it to every motherfucking
Bro,
person.
I'm just
putting this
tired of
out.
insecure ass motherfuckers not giving no game. So I'm gonna be different than that.
Appreciate it.
I would say majority of them are insecure, but like I said earlier, I'm one of them people, like, depending on who it is, yeah, I got you. But if you've never said nothing to me in your life and it's just all of a sudden you just got 30 million questions from me, bro, go suck a dick. Get out of here.
right.
Have you ever pressed play? Have you ever shared something?
Right. Have you ever? Yeah.
And I'm not even that nigga. Don't get it fucked up. I'm not one of those, oh, you got to share my shit for me to do something for you. But, like, who are you?
Right.
You can't just randomly hop in someone's inbox and start demanding info.
Right.
You feel me? Like, bro,
Right.
you're weird. That's stalker vibes.
Yeah. 100%.
Where can the people find you at? What you got going on?
Itsmighty.com. New merch drop, bags over CLOUT merch. Homecoming merch coming soon as well. So I think we just sold like 150 garments over the week. We dropped it. It's pretty dope. I mean, I don't.
Just 150?
Just 150.
All from
God.
Portland?
There's a couple from Texas, couple from California, couple from Chicago. I got a great following in Chicago. Shout out Chicago. So yeah, it's a little diversified. I gotta get my website game up, just my drop game up. I ain't been dropping a lot of merch, so Mighty Nation merch moves very smoothly throughout the months that I'm doing music. But when I'm not promoting music a lot, my merch just kind of dies down. So we just dropped that. Itsmighty.com at ITZMighty on Instagram, on all socials. The Spotify going up. Go ahead and follow. It's Mighty. Type Mighty Bags Over CLOUT. First thing that pops up. And then also, man, music videos out now. It's Mighty on YouTube. Subscribe. Tap in. Almost 5,000 plays, I believe. Few reactions to it. Pretty cool little following right now. Bags Over CLOUT. It's Mighty on YouTube. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, and Laced Laced Up coming, reinvigorated next year. We're gonna redo it. I was under due to COVID-19 because of some stuff going on business wise, but Laced Up PDX will return 2022.
Involved with that.
Absolutely.
I got a quick question about the playlist and real quick before we get out of here. I know you checking your analytics like every 5 minutes and shit because of the playlist.
Yep.
Where is your biggest following at?
My biggest following, it's funny, it's Chicago. But it's not really surprising because I toured with Twista. Bone Thugs and Harmony from Cleveland, that whole Midwest sound and that kind of my rap. Cadence and the way that I deliver my music, the Machine Gun Kellys, it's like got this little edge to it out there. There's a little I don't know, they got a little rift in their sound, and I kind of have that similar sound. That bounce is very similar.
You speed rap a little bit.
Yeah. I double
Can we get
time.
some bars today?
Oh man, yeah, I got you.
We're gonna after this we're gonna you feel me, double back.
So that's a big part of what I do, and I think that understanding your analytics is a big part of what you should do as an artist. So go and look, all the young artists out there, go and look at your analytics. Make sure you're target marketing.
My shit is Kansas City.
Kansas, there you go. Okay,
but that kind of as soon as I hear Kansas City, I think gang members.
I love it though. Target market though.
Shout out to Miami, Texas, and California.
Right,
nigga, I love y'all.
Right.
LA, Kansas City. Like, all right, well, shit, we thugging then, nigga. Thugging.
Right. I got a lot of overseas too. Germany, London. Germany, I toured in Germany. Germany loves hip hop, so try to get Germany on your.
Japan is popping up on my iTunes.
Yep.
You toured as yourself, or did you tour under somebody?
I toured under Spice One.
How does that work? I know we're trying to kill this shit up, but now that you said that, how the fuck does that work? Like,
it was 106 in Park. He was a judge at one of he was a special guest judge, and he saw me perform as a special guest. But he was the special guest judge in Portland, and we met after that. We went out, kicked it, drank, was just popping it. He was like, "Man, I stay in Vegas now," so I went to Vegas, toured in Vegas. He showed up at the show and was like, "I want to sign you." I turned down being signed. He offered $50,000, and I said no. I'm not a gang member. I don't talk no gang shit. I just don't. And he
protecting your brand. And
he respected it, bro. He told we was off a couple things of yak chilling, and he straight up said, "Man, I love that. I'm going out to Germany. I would love to spend, just be able to soak up some game with you and have you come out and see what it's like out here." And I'm like, absolutely. So I went for 4 cities in Germany, and he did 7. I could only make 4. But I performed. It wasn't the same crowd or nothing, but I really got to go VIP, really see the he asked if I had ever been overseas, and I said no in regards to music, and so he looked out for me, man. So shout out big homie, Spice One. He always looked out for me when I was in Vegas. Every time I pop up, he's always like, "Hey bro, come to the crib." So
that's hard.
It's just some OG stuff.
That's dope.
That's hard.
What was the first song we played?
Homecoming, I think.
Homecoming intro, I think it was, because the one I gotta play now is Bags Over Clout.
Bags Over motherfucking Clout. Hey man, tap in with Mighty, man, and go play that, go spin that. You feel me? If you ain't following, go follow the page. What is it? IG Everything XL. Tap in with us on Facebook, Everything XL. Follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Google, all the podcast networks. Everything XL podcast. It's your baby mama's favorite fat boy. Ugh.
Bags over clout. Reach up in the stash, try to sort it out. Been getting money with a mask, you can point them out. They don't run the city, they just giving you the run around. It's easy to spot when you know the territory. The rest is for the birds, is what a parrot told me. There's nothing to inherit, I'm the hero, homie. You gotta watch some Looney Tunes with all these carrots on me. Get it, got it, good. This ain't Hollywood. Put that on the hood. They told me you shouldn't, but they all knew I would. They knew it, they could've called it. Even if I threw it, they couldn't have called it. I got too many giving they 2 cents. They ain't swing through cents. I mean, either way, I wouldn't have bought it. Putting on for the town, all hands on deck. I don't need a handout. Rise up for the squad, yeah, I do it for the fam. I don't do it for the clout. In the fast lane, Money ain't a thing, but the cash came. Trying not to crash, let up off the gas main. This shit for the family. I hustle for my last name. Round table for the feast. Surround yourself with beasts. Nash beats, I made thousands in the streets. Count your blessings, my accountant's overseas. Big bag, no clout chasing. Spot that a mile away, no Dalmatian. Been a pillar for the town, I'm the foundation. This the sound of staying down for the crown, ain't it?